where we try to solve the world's problems one drink at a time. Each episode in this podcast, we talk about the topics of yesterday, today, and tomorrow while reviewing and enjoying beer, spirits, and wine from around the world and crafted locally. So grab your drink, raise your glass. Hosts, Brian and Britt. Cheers.
Check us out. That was actually kind of funny.
Yeah, it was.
I decided
Was
to
it the
pull
notification?
It was a notification on my phone. I'm pulling the Drink Talk music off of my phone, and so I got the notification that we're going live. I'm like, oh, wait a minute, I should have turned off notifications. Oh well. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome
Here we
to
are.
Drink Talk. Here we are, virtually,
1 month later.
kind of.
I know,
You're there.
right? Yeah.
I'm over here, but it works
Still
out.
Still kind of setting up my studio.
That's all right. No big deal, man. I'm here to hang out and chillax, and I hope you guys have something that you have in your hands. It's a cold beverage or whatnot. We will be starting on that here momentarily. In fact, speaking of that, I forgot to grab my ice cubes, Brian. Rookie mistake.
no.
Rookie mistake.
All right.
Be right back.
Well, all right. Well,
They're just right over here.
I will soldier on then. It's been almost, I was telling Britt, it's been exactly 1 month and 1 day since the last time that we spoke. So we decided to do another, social distancing, virtual happy hour, virtual drinks. We haven't got together in a little while. World's still a crazy place, even though things are starting to open up and all that. But we decided to play it safe, and because we haven't done this in a while. So
Yeah.
here we are.
Well, I think the last episode that we had, unfortunately, you were unable to make it down to San Antonio, and we did kind of the same exact thing. We did a
Right.
virtual experience, and I had you on like a little TV monitor stand behind us. But no, here we are again. But I'm glad that we were able to get together that time. If you guys did watch that episode live, unfortunately, the internet was kind of spotty out there. So
You're running it off your phone, right?
well, yeah. Okay. So my phone's awesome, but sometimes not that awesome. I even
Right.
upgraded it to the 5G mode, and I was like, all right, well, maybe if there's 5G in the area, then I'd get that. Nope, sure wasn't. But I was downtown Omaha earlier this week, and all of a sudden my phone said 5G on the top. I was like, oh, hey, downtown
there it
Omaha's
is.
got 5G.
Yeah. Yeah.
But anyway,
Well, I would say before we get too crazy into this, those of you that are jumping on and want to drink along with us, we're going to be doing whiskeys. So if you want to grab a whiskey,
so Brian,
or two or three,
I've got
four.
2 whiskeys, but I've got 2 rums as well.
Okay. Well,
So-
I actually technically
Dulce,
have
dulces.
I have 2 American whiskeys. I have a Japanese whiskey. I have a Scotch, and I have a rum that I wanted to share with everyone.
Oh, then there you go. You mixed it up a little bit too. So
A little bit.
It's good. It's good.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, no. Going back to our last show. If you watch this live, we were kind of glitching a little bit, and like I said, the internet wasn't all that great. I went the next day, since our camera records it on a little SD card. I went and re-uploaded it onto our Facebook page. So if you do want to watch that live, you feel free to just listen to that or watch that.
Yeah. I
actually.
changed the background. It was glitching.
It's too
so I was
much.
like,
Too much.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a neat concept if it works right.
Right.
You
yeah.
really need like a green screen behind you and then do it that way. But
Right.
the auto green screen don't work.
It's pretty good, but not perfect. So, do you have yours ready? Because I was gonna pour mine. and-
Yeah, I've got. Go ahead and start on yours, and I'm gonna decide what I'm going to do here.
All right. So this one.
The plantation.
The plantation rum. It's actually a pineapple rum, and the last time we talked, I had just recently discovered the wine, beer, and spirits shop, which is the old Toys R Us here in Omaha, over by Oakview. And I was walking through there with my brother-in-law, and he works the restaurant scene pretty heavily and knows a lot of bartenders. And he said, this new pineapple rum is the next big thing. You should check it out. So that's what I'm doing right now.
Perfect.
Pop it and try it. What do you got?
So I am doing mine over ice here, but this is, and I'm doing a 2-ounce pour over here. This is the Pirate and they spell that Pyrat, Pyrat rum, Exo Reserve. It's 40%, 80 proof. A good friend of mine. It's an imported rum. Fine imported rum. I'm trying to find out where it's from. The people that do tequila. Why can't I think of
Was
their
it
name?
Cuervo or
Uh,
Don Julio?
Patreon or not Patreon?
Patron?
Patron. Thank you.
Yeah.
Patron. It's the people from Patron. So yeah, this was suggested to me by a good friend of mine, Tony, and he's all like, "Here, I've got this bottle. Why don't you drink it?" And I'm like, "Oh, okay. I'll take a half a bottle of good stuff. So why not?" So Pyrat, Pyrat, Pirate rum.
Nice. Well,
Yeah.
to that.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh, ooh, baby. Yours is way darker than mine.
It's original. Can you hear me okay? Like, it doesn't sound like I'm coming through my
Yeah,
ears.
no, you
very much.
sound
Okay.
great.
Good. This one's a 40%, so it's just your run of the mill, but it's a dark rum, which is, I don't know if you can pick it up on the screen there, but it's fairly dark.
Yeah,
and
plantation.
It doesn't have like the spiced rum feel to it though. Just more of a rum, just a regular rum. Not like a Bacardi. Like Bacardi to me is kind of assertive.
Yeah.
This is so
Well,
smooth.
When I think
is,
Bacardi, though, I think cheap. You know,
yeah, but it's also a white rum, and there's not spice to it.
Again,
This is
cheap.
This is a dark rum, barrel aged, infused with pineapple, and you get a little bit of the pineapple, and it is so smooth. Like, I have one little tiny ice cube in here.
Yeah, I kind of went
just to
large
cool
on
it
the
down
ice
a little
cubes.
bit. But really, I mean, you could just drink this neat. It is fantastic. He said it's kind of the up and coming for drinks, just mixing with it. And I could think pretty much anything that you make with rum, you add this to it, it just kicks it up a notch. A little bit of fruity flavors to it. Yeah, it's really good.
I could smell that from over here. No,
I know,
no, I
it's so
can't.
good.
Not so much. Yeah, no, I would recommend this Pirate Rum Exo Reserve to anyone as well. Very smooth. Typical rums. When I think of, I mean, I used to be an avid like a rum and Coke drinker way back in the day, and I would always just go with the good old basic rum like Bacardi, or Captain Morgan, because it's the Captain Morgan's got a little spice to it.
Sure.
What was the other one? Sailor Jerry's. That's it.
Yeah, and that's a little higher octane. I like that one. I like Kraken.
Kraken.
To me, like, I started, I never got into Bacardi at all. I was always a Captain Morgan, but then I started getting into Captain Morgan Black, which is actually 100 proof, or just below, like 97, 98 proof. So it's high
you're doing it
octane,
strong,
but
is what you're
so
telling
is
me.
Kraken, and it's so good. But Sailor Jerry's is also that way. It's a little higher octane. I want to say it's like 89 or 90 proof, somewhere in there.
Nice, very nice.
Yeah.
Well, hey, let's get into kind of what we were doing this weekend. I would love to talk about a new tap room that's here in town.
Yeah.
The name of the tap room is called the Heights Tap Room, and
Draft
Draft House.
It's Draft.
Yeah. Tap Heights Draft House. There you go. They're located just off of 84th Street. If you guys are familiar with Omaha or La Vista, it's where
like
the old
Papillion, Ralston,
Yeah.
La Vista all merge.
so there used to be an old Walmart there
Yeah,
on
yeah.
84th between Giles and Harrison. And they tore down the old Walmart, and they are now building these huge apartment complexes. And if you know where the Chili's is at, it's right behind that Chili's right there on 84th. But they're amazing people there. Drinks were awesome. How many taps do they have? Like 30? Look like?
I didn't actually count, but I would say it's pretty close to 30.
They have this nifty-difty app that you can get on, and I could actually tell you how many taps they actually have.
Well, and also just the readout. They had the giant TVs and all that. And not only did they have all the names of the beers, but they actually had how they served it, like the ounces that they served it in, and then what the ounces they served it in. They had the glass that it was served in, and actually it was color coded. So if you had something that was super dark, obviously it was super dark on the screen. If it was a sour or goes, it was red, and it was very very cool. But then also the last one was the keg itself, and the keg they actually had a digital readout um, what was left in that keg, which was super super cool. And we were asking it about it because Britt and I both thought it was by weights, but he said no, it's a little more technical than that. It's actually we put a keg in there. It knows what size keg we put in there, and when we sell stuff, it knows exactly like we do a crowler. It knows to take 32 ounces out of there, and so it just uses an algorithm to do that. So it's pretty sophisticated there, and a good sized space. They got darts there. They have a ton of seating right now, and they've actually kind of separated it for social distancing. And I guess we should clarify that Britt and I were given an invitation for like before they opened. I think this is even pre-soft opening. This is just a hey, come check us out, and by word of mouth. So actually, when I was there, it was very very few people.
So I believe he's the owner, Jones. Is I believe the current owner of that facility. He's the one that actually reached out to us. He's like, hey, I'm actually a watcher of the show and would love to have you guys come check out this new place. And thank you for having us, Joey.
Yeah,
we do appreciate it.
It was a great, and the prices are very reasonable. So yeah, I was very.
I just checked.
Actually,
I saw 33. I saw 33 taps, but I believe there's 34. They have one tap for the gas line.
Well, no, so they had a water and they had a cold brew coffee.
Oh yeah.
That's right.
I think the cold brew was on here though.
Yep, and I see Corey just joined us, and I just want to let him know that that's not too far from where he works. So you need to check that place out. The Heights Draft House,
34th between Harrison and Giles, just behind
84th.
What did I say? I was way
34th.
84th. Between Harrison and Giles, right behind the that place, Chili's.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool spot. It's right under. It's basically where all the new apartments and condos they're building, all that, and the new businesses back there. And
baby back ribs.
There's a very few businesses that are open in those bays, but they're one of them that's open. So they're kind of getting ahead of the curve.
Barbecue sauce.
That's actually what I had today. I had some baby back ribs for dinner today.
That sounds wonderful. Yeah. I had some fried lice.
And of course, I sang the song.
I had some chicken fried lice.
Yeah.
Fried lice. Yeah, fried lice. So no, that was cool. I really enjoyed. It was he invited us out, and it wasn't. I mean, it was kind of like the soft opening, but there was a lot of business people, or not business people, people of the community of brewing beers. I saw Cross Drain there, and I saw a lot of people that distributed beers here in town there. So no, it was great. It was good to see people coming out and supporting.
Yeah.
Faux show.
Yeah. That was a good time. Check it out. In the Papillion, Ralston, La Vista. I think it's technically La Vista.
Yeah. I'll definitely be back and check it out.
Yeah.
Oh, this is good. I'm glad I did just 2 ounces, though. I don't know.
I'm glad I started with this one. This one is, like I said, it is so smooth. This plantation pineapple rum, very, very smooth.
So today I decided to go up to Casual Pint and just grab a beer. They were doing the White Elm Tap Takeover, which I believe you can
from Lincoln.
Yeah, from Lincoln. I believe they are still open currently right now. It is Saturday, so I do believe that they're still open. So if you need or want to get some White Elm, I would strongly suggest getting up there right now.
Yeah.
So
yes.
And also, while I was there, I decided to get this.
Oh, you got the dumpster fire.
I did.
Travel tote.
I got the dumpster tire. I go there a lot, and I have a lot of growlers, and so I just needed something to haul it in, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it holds like 16 tall out, 16 beers or something like that. Anyway, it's gonna hold all my growlers perfectly, just fine, and look cool doing it.
16 growlers.
6 growlers. My fault.
Yeah.
It's like I've been drinking right now or something. I don't know what's going on.
We've only just begun.
We've only just begun. It's the
Only
first
just begun.
one.
Yes. Move this in a little more so I can hear myself.
Right.
There we go. Mucho bettero.
Yeah. Another thing that happened this weekend. Unfortunately, a good friend of ours, Jay Johansson, passed away. Jay Johnson. Robinson. All right, we're gonna start over. We're gonna
Good friend of yours, Britt.
Yeah, right. Really good friend of ours. No, an old Jay Robinson. He's an old friend of ours from back when we used to live in Ponca Hills, and we had a service for him today, next memorial. It was actually on his property.
Yeah, outside they did the tents and all that. It was nice.
It was really nice.
Before it got gross hot.
Right. Well, and they also had big, huge fans running and all that stuff. And at least I was able to contribute a little bit. I had a big honking speaker, and with all the fans that they had going on in there, I brought that, and it was plenty loud. In fact, Carly was like, "Turn it down." I'm like, "We're in the third row, babe." Like, do you see? There's 2 tents behind us, so it was perfect. Glad we got it.
Good.
And the pastor that was there giving the service, good friend of mine, Justin, goes to his church and invited me to his church actually a couple times. And no, he's a great pastor. So he was an old football player, I think, for the Huskers, something like that.
Oh, one of those guys.
One of those guys. Yeah, he's buff, buff dude. But no, it was nice service, good food afterwards. A lot of great, nice things said about him. So, and
good.
They were all true.
Good. How are you close? Because I'm pretty darn close to finishing.
Yeah, I'm done.
Moving on to the next one. Man, this like the molasses flavors in there, the brown sugar. Oh, it's so good.
Woo. That warmed my belly there.
What are you moving on to?
Oh, I'm moving on to dropped ice cubes. Is what I'm moving on to.
Yeah, I've got my little ice grippers here. Just to grab my ice.
I have those same. Did you get those from Mom? Because I have the same exact ones, and mine are green instead of red. And I use mine to flip the bacon. So I do the bacon in the oven for 20 minutes on 400, and then I use those little tiny hands, and I flip all my bacon, and I put it back in for another 15 minutes until it's like perfect. You know, you gotta check on it like 10 minutes. Okay, 15 minutes, maybe 3 more minutes, you know. But yeah, bacon in the oven, that's the way to go. And it just it's nice and crispy.
This is my next one.
Oh, what is it? Cut Spike?
Yeah, it's a Cut Spike. It's the Cabernet Barrel American Single Malt Whiskey.
Ooh.
Yeah, so aged in wine barrels. So, oh man, should I redo that for the microphone?
Oh, yeah, there you go. Guess I could do that with mine.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I can't. Oh, yeah.
There it is.
That was a good sound.
Sounds nice.
I am doing on this is a Puerto Rican rum. This is Don Q.
Don Quixote?
Don Q. They've been around since 1865. Wow. This is the Gran Anero. Grand Anero. Right. I went away from my measuring cup. I was doing 2 ounces now. I'm just like, oh, I might as well just pour it.
Looks about right.
Yeah, it looks about right.
Mm-hmm.
It says this is the best quality Puerto Rican rum selected from aged intervalos. I don't know. It's 12 years old. Is what it says. Good old 12-year-old rum.
Nice. Yeah, this Cut Spike, for those of you that don't know, is actually here. It's a local company.
Yeah, I was gonna say I thought that was local.
Yeah, that's the Lucky Bucket Brewing Company. This is their distillery line. The Cut Spike is their distillery line, and this is
a bit of all right.
Nose. Well, so I haven't tried it yet. I'm kind of letting that rum work its way down because I know that was super smooth, and this is not going to be as smooth.
So, judging from the colorization from the last one, yeah, it almost has a red hint to it. Is that me?
I would agree with you. It's not as I'm looking on my camera, and it's not as red as what's showing up on the camera, but there is a red
Hue to it. Yeah.
I wonder if the get that.
Yeah, there you go.
Let's see.
It looks very reddish, hueish.
Yeah.
And this Puerto Rican rum is a little lighter than the other rum. Just a hint. Just a hint.
Well, to that. Cheers.
Yeah, cheers. Oh. Ooh.
No, that's really smooth though. But you get a lot of the barrel notes. There's a lot of like right up front is the wood notes, and then you start as it warms up your mouth and works its way back. You start getting more of the whiskey flavors. I'm starting to get some of the wine flavors out of there as things warm up in there. But yeah, I would say whiskey or the barrel first, and which isn't like not bad, not like, oh, I'm chewing on tree bark. It's not that bad.
Oof.
But yeah, this is still very
It's not
smooth.
It's not Fernet.
I had this the other night, but I thought it was going to be a little more punch to it because it's a little. I went from a 40% to a 43%, so I thought there was going to be a little bit
More
more
kick to it.
stringency to it, but it's very smooth. Mm. How's yours? What's the flavor profile on yours?
It's lighter than the other one. And in it being lighter, it is a bit smoother actually. I had to kind of take a drink of water kind of to cleanse my palate just a little bit, but no, it's heavenly. I would choose, if I was going to choose between the two, this would be the one I chose.
Nice.
What do you got for upcoming events, Brian? What's new in your life? I know that you tried to take this week off. Tried is a keyword
I
there.
did try to take the week off, but I ended up having Monday and Tuesday off and having to work most of the rest of that. But
you had Friday off, though, huh? Maybe
no, I went in Friday.
Of course you did. Of course you did.
It was just half a day, but no, I signed up for the motorcycle safety course. For the new rider safety course, I guess is what it's, or new rider course through Dillon Brothers here in town. So I'll be taking that here in September.
Because you're looking to get a
a Can-Am Spider.
There you go.
I hesitate saying a motorcycle because the motorcycle crowd doesn't think it's a motorcycle, even though it's classified as one. To me, I'm not out for a motorcycle. I'm out for the Can-Am Spider, which to me is my street legal four-wheeler.
Right.
So,
Which,
and that's why I like it.
Looking at that thing, if anybody doesn't know the Spider, it's got two wheels in the front and it's got one wheel in the back, and it almost looks like a car. I mean, it's pretty darn big.
Well, if you think about the company that makes it, Can-Am, they make snowmobiles, and if you look at a snowmobile,
Well, they also make those all-terrain vehicles as well.
They do, but I'm specifically talking about the snowmobiles because they got the two skis in the front and the one track in the back, and that's how they got that stance.
Gotcha.
And a lot but the
is that the technical term, Brian? The poo-poo?
Poo-poo, yeah, they poo-poo it, yeah. But it ends up being very, very stable. Everything that I've read on it and watched videos on it says that the stability on it is just even way more than the current trikes that, the Gold Wings and all that, where they have the two in the rear. And the stability is a huge pro for me, but from a motorcycle standpoint, like you can't lean into the turns like you can on a motorcycle. So from a motorcycle standpoint, it's a con. But like I said, I'm looking for a street legal four-wheeler, and this is it. Just happens to be three wheels.
You were talking about the motorcycles with the two wheels in the back and one in the front, the trike style motorcycles. Come to find out, I guess Jay Robinson, who I was literally talking about earlier, who passed away the other day, he went out and got one, and he was a trike rider.
Oh, nice! I didn't know that about him.
I didn't know that about him either.
Nice.
Well, I mean, Jay was kind of in our lives more when we were younger. We kind of moved out of the Ponca area just out of elementary school. So we would have been, like 12, 13. You were more like 15 or 16
Yeah.
when we moved out.
15.
So yeah, we only knew him for a short period of time, and I mean, his wife was around, his kids were around, all that sort of jazz. But yeah, I guess when he got older, and his wife passed away, I think 8 years ago, 9 years ago,
2012.
yeah, something like that.
2012.
He went out and got a bike, and his kids were like, "What is it? What are you, rad dad now, or what's going on?"
For me, it's kind of a healthier way of coping with things. To me, it'd be the freedom just to get out and clear my
Yeah.
head and just
Well,
you know,
Amanda was saying that his helmet was like twice the size of a normal helmet because of the padding, and she's like, "Dad."
you look like a bobblehead.
Exactly. What was the movie? Spaceballs with the giant
yeah.
like cone head.
Dark helmet.
Well,
Yeah.
even all of the people that were working the stations had like the big giant round head things on. I guess I don't know.
Yeah, but dark helmet. He was
Dark
the one
helmet.
that had the-
Yes.
Rick Moranis.
Oh
He
my
was
gosh.
dark helmet.
His movies.
Yeah. We just watched Little Shop of Horrors. We showed that to the girls.
What?
Good one with
I remember doing that show at my school my freshman year.
mhm.
We did Little Shop of Horrors in the theater department at Omaha North. It was
Nice.
a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun.
And as we are rambling about things, basically, this whole thing, there's no conversation.
Yeah,
topic.
there's
We're
no
just
there's
kinda-
no solving world's problems
Yeah.
today. It's just we
It's,
just wanted to say
drinking
hi and
whiskey
drink
mainly.
with you. Hey,
So
are
if
you
you-
watching the live feed, Brian?
Yeah, we got a few people on. So
So
you wanna,
if you've got a question for us, if you want to know about the show, if you want to know about our daily lives, feel free to ask those questions because, like I said, Brian's kind of monitoring the live feed going on right now. So ask away and we will answer.
for sure.
Oh, show. Anyway, yeah, things are good. Went out to the pool today. I had a little pool in the backyard, and Guyver and I were hanging out.
Nice.
Yeah, no, it was a
good.
beautiful day, and you know what?
Well, it was a little gross hot, which is good for a pool.
It's great for a pool, and there's a business that has since moved on, which I shall not name, but I received a few items from this business, and one of them was tiki umbrellas, and so now I've got 3 tiki umbrellas in the backyard, and it looks like a little island paradise in my backyard, which is I'm all right with. I'm okay with it because you can sit in the pool but still be in the shade, but still have the heat of the sun, But speaking of the heat of the sun, I am thoroughly enjoying the heat of the sun, aka my tomato plants are popping off. So I kind of jumped the gun. I planted tomato seeds in trays and grew them in my front window, and I had a little LED light that kind of grew them as well. But then I also went to Winninghoff Farms and purchased already, like, I don't know, I think they were about a foot tall already when I got them back in, it was probably May, because I think I planted them just a week after May Day. And then, of course, we got that frost. I was like out there with blankets trying to cover everything up. Like, no, please don't die. But with that said, I have tomato plants in my backyard that are literally 10 feet tall right now. And yeah, my neighbor was like, "What is on the other side of this fence?" I'm like, "Those are tomatoes." He's like, I looked over the fence and he's got 2 tomato plants and they're like a foot or maybe 2 feet tall. And mine are 10
Feeding
feet
these
tall.
things.
Well, I've got it all on a automated watering system, and like I said, with the heat that's going on, they're just. And I've been picking tomatoes actually since the beginning of July, but today, all of my cherry tomatoes and my berry tomatoes, and I've got a couple of yellow tomatoes that I picked, and man, oh man, we're gonna make some bruschetta tomorrow. I'm excited. Yum.
Yeah. And salsa. You're gonna make some salsa in the future with those 10-foot plants.
Salsa.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Something like that.
Some mason jars.
We do a lot of pasta nights here, so we mix them in the spaghettis a lot. Put them on salads. Those little cherry tomatoes and the berry tomato. I got these berry tomatoes this year, and they're so unique. They look like strawberries, but they're tomatoes, and they like come to a point, and
that's how you trick Guyver.
yeah, no,
Not the strawberry, swear.
No, actually, Carly makes a really good bruschetta, and we've got a balsamic reduction that we put on it with fresh Parmesan cheese and the oils that she mixes the tomatoes up in. I will put that up, and the baguette that she toasts, I will put that up with any restaurant here. Italian restaurant, any restaurant here in town, hands down, my wife's got the best. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong.
It's going to be a cook-off.
Yeah, right? We need to do another one of those shows. Remember when we had the beer cheese soup on here one time?
Oh, yeah. That was good.
And the wings, the hot wings.
Oh, that was a fun episode. That was as much as it pained me the next day and towards the end of the podcast. That was a fun episode.
So I don't want to look it up right now, but fairly recently, it was right before COVID hit. It was, I think, March.
I would say March. Yeah.
Yeah, mid March, right when it was hitting. We did a Hot Ones episode essentially, and those who are unfamiliar with Hot Ones, it's a YouTube show where they eat hot wings and interview, famous actors and actresses and all that stuff. We decided to do one and drink beer, which they don't drink on the show. They just have hot wings, and they gradually get hotter and hotter as the questions go on. And I think we went for 3 hours, didn't we? Anyway, at hour marker, 1 hour and 48 minutes, we decided to do the bomb. And it literally da bomb, which I think I still have in that refrigerator right over there, which I don't want to ever open it ever again. The bomb. It's just there to be there. Anyway, the show stops for 15 minutes, and we have to collect ourselves. And it's
pretty comedy.
To listen to it, not so much funny because, the occasional I'm like, oh, yogurt, this will help. No, it didn't. But to watch, it's even more funnier. So go back and watch that episode.
Yeah, it was good.
Back in May.
Adult ketchup and Corona.
Yeah, adult ketchup and Corona. That's right. Nice.
Yeah. So what about you, Britt? You got anything coming up other than your 10-foot tomato plants?
10-foot tomato plants. Well, I have a rock wall that I need to be building.
You're creating a rock wall, you're gonna start climbing that kind of rock wall.
Well, I wish that would be actually really cool. I would assume that I could probably sell tickets to that and put it in my backyard. And now that's a great idea, Brian.
See?
No.
You got the space.
So the rock wall in my driveway out front is crap.
Is that the you have the broken concrete?
Yeah, it's
retaining wall.
It's not concrete. It's like broken rock, like chiseled, like flat pieces of rock that are like, I don't know, 5 or
but
8.
not like retaining wall brick.
It's not retaining wall brick. No. This is like broken rock, and they're I don't know, probably 1.5 to 2 feet wide, 6 inches thick, and they protrude out, and they don't stack well, and it's just a hodgepodge of these stones essentially, and it's horrible. The weeds grow up through it, and I'm always picking something out of it. I want to tear all that out, and Grandma used to have those big oak trees in her front yard. Well, she had these 20-foot round rings, and I think you got some of her.
Yeah, I gave those to our cousin.
They're like they're retaining wall bricks, but they have like a little on the bottom side. They have a little notch, and so when you put them in, you push them forward, and then they're going to stop. But it'll gradually kind of go up at an angle. So I have palletized those from Grandma's house. I've got 180 some odd bricks right now on pallets at her house waiting to come over, and then I'm going to get another 120 from her house, and that should do. I've got my driveway, and then it L's to a staircase, and then from the staircase to the garage, and then there's a secondary tier and a secondary tier on both sides, and then I've got along the side of the house, between Jerry's house and my house, there's a retaining wall there that the bumblebees love to build.
Is it the bee's knees?
He's the bee's knees. The bumblebees like to build their houses in there, which I actually am in favor for, because the bumblebees are actually the ones that are pollinating all of my tomato plants right now. So I'm kind of
they
in
bumble along.
Well, it's that and the wasps, or not wasps. What's the black
hornets?
One? Hornet. I have like 5 or 6 hornets in my backyard.
You got the murder hornets.
Carly thought we did, but they are called cicada killers. Yeah. Speaking of that,
we have those.
Yeah. So Erica has it way worse. Erica is our sister, and she has murder hornets like it's nobody's business.
Are you sure they're not the cicada killers? Because they, other than the
no,
heads are different.
Let me flip back.
Cicada killers.
Flip that back around.
Just say
that's where the
nest is at Erica's house. We should go burn it right now.
No. Cicada killers. Erica has a cicada killers. My fault. We were talking murder hornets, and I got all confused there.
Cicada killers.
Cicada killers.
Cicada. There's no
whatever.
Z in it.
I'm gonna say cicada. I like with it's like Zorro.
The zippity doo does.
The zippity doo does. Anyway, Erica calls me up, and she's like, I got like 30 of them in my backyard. I'm like, that's ridiculous. She's like, yeah, it started off with 1 or 2, and then it got a little out of control. And I'm like, all right, here's what you do. You just got to get this and that. And you just pour this, I told her to boil some water and just pour it down all the little holes, but wait till the evening, because in the evening they all burrow down back in their holes, and just pour all the water down there, and you should be good to go. Well, she did, and she woke up the next morning, and they were still there. And I'm like, okay, cool, I'll come over.
We had those a couple years ago, and they got really bad in our backyard. So I bought bird seed, and which created more birds in the background and in the backyard. And since then, we've not had a problem with them. Yeah,
that would have been way easier. So no, anyway, I come over to Erica's house armed with a can of Hornet Wasp spray, and quickly run that out as soon as I get there. And I'm like, okay, cool, I'll go to the hardware store and buy more. So I go there, and it was like $2.50 for a huge can. And I was like, all right, let's buy 4 of these things. Why not? Let's go gung-ho on these guys. So I spent the better part of the afternoon spraying down their area, their nests, hitting the back wall where they've been bouncing off of, and I got rid of them. I was like, great, cool, they're not around anymore. So then
I went crazy.
Yeah, then I went inside and had some food, and I came back out, and there was still 2 or 3 or 4 of them still buzzing around. I'm like, all right, cool, I'll zap those guys and get them out of here. Erica said 2 days later they all came back. I'm like, that's a big house. They must have a big house down there. She said I went through 4 more cans. So I'm like, sorry, but yeah, gosh, should call Erica. Tell her just birdseed. Just put the birds, get the birds out there.
I'm ready for the next one. Are you?
Yeah, actually, right on time.
Sweet. All right, so this next one I'm excited about because I saw it. On like Instagram, you follow a lot of things, and with our podcast, I follow a lot of alcohol distributors and distilleries and all that. And this came across on Instagram, and it's a well-known brand, Whistle Pig. A lot of people know what that is. Whistle Pig. And this is the 100% rye whiskey. And I was like, I love rye. I need to try it. So as you can see, I've sampled already. But
is that it said the 6 year on it? Is that what I saw?
Yep, aged for 6 years. 100% rye. This is a 96.56 proof. So that's that's going to be like 48%, 48, a little over 48% alcohol. So we're moving up the spectrum.
Nice. And this is, you said it was a whiskey?
It's a 100% rye whiskey.
Rye whiskey.
100%. You don't usually see that. That's a rare one. So, yeah.
So I am going with the Redwood Empire whiskey. This is an American whiskey. On the front of it, It says it was barrel aged in Sonoma County, California. So 90 proof. Again, on the front, etched in the front, it says batch number 1. It was bottled 11/9/2017. This is a select lots of 11, 5, and 4-year-old bourbons blended with 3 and 2-year-old rye. Ultra smooth and complex characters, it says on the front. So that's cool that I got batch number 1. Let's see how they do, though.
I don't think I got batch 1.
I got batch the number 1.
Pretty cool.
Cheers. Woo!
Oh, sorry.
Woo! Cheers! Cheers!
Is. Oh yeah. I can smell the rye coming off of that.
I definitely getting the rye off of mine, and I'm thinking I'm getting more of the rye because it says that the bourbon blend was an 11, a 5, and a 4-year-old bourbon blend, but the rye was a 3 and a 2-year-old rye, and so it was more. I'm sure it's because it's a younger year of rye. I'm getting it more on the taste bud front end.
I'm getting like rye is a.
Woo!
I'm definitely getting in the nose.
I'm gonna have to crack my Dr. Pepper.
Yeah, to me, this is like a spicy whiskey, and I don't mean like spicy as in hot spicy, but just like there's a lot of spices going on. So like that rye is coming right through. Oh, it's so good.
For those of you who don't know, I'm a huge Dr. Pepper fan. But then I found the Dr. Pepper cream soda.
I noticed the can right away. I was like, we have that too.
Dr. Pepper
pretty
cream
amazing.
soda is a bit all right.
Yes.
It's a good chaser. You know, if I mean, I don't get me wrong. I prefer beer more than whiskey or anything else of that nature. But when I do drink whiskey, I usually have water, yes, but some sort of chaser, and my chaser is cream soda Dr. Pepper. Yum. Yum.
I don't know if it's true or not, but I saw it on the internet, so
It's
it must
false.
be true. A friend of mine posted that since we're drinking whiskey, Mountain Dew, which
What?
is slang for.
I would never drink Mountain Dew with whiskey.
That's apparently what it was made for, though. So I don't know if that's true, but
I don't think that's true.
That was lovely, Britt.
You're welcome. No holds bar on this show. No holds bar. Yeah, no, I would never think while I'm drinking a dark brown whiskey to go out and buy a lime green soda.
Neon yellow,
Neon yellow green soda.
radioactive soda.
No. Maybe Baja Blast. I may, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
But Mountain Dew, no.
Oh yeah, we're getting comments. It works, so
It works.
We'll see.
The things work.
I'm willing to try it.
All right, fair enough. I next time I go out, I will buy Dr. Pepper or no, Mountain Dew, and give it a try. I don't. I just the flavor the flavor complex. I'm just like I don't know if that. Do they? You're just talking as a chaser, not as a mixer.
As a mixer.
All right, cool. Next time I go to the bar, I'm going to ask for a whiskey Mountain Dew, and they're going to be like, "We don't have
what?
Mountain Dew here." What?
Go down to the convenience store and get some.
Get a rope.
Weirdo.
Right.
Go sit in the corner with that, will you?
Exactly. Jeez.
Am I in timeout?
No, what are you going to do? Oh. So, we didn't talk last weekend, but last weekend I had a bodybuilding competition.
Did you build a body?
I was
Was
not.
Frankenstein there?
I was not in the competition. I was DJing the competition. And I probably talked about this before on old episodes. This guy, Jack, he's a great fella. He's got a great thing going here in the Midwest for anyone who wants to be bodybuilders. And he came to where I work, and the first time he came to us, They just put some random person on that works for us, not some random person off the street, some guy that works for us, and he did a good job, but he just put the CDs in and he pressed play, right? Well, the first time I went and worked for him, he handed me a CD for the men and he handed me a CD for the girls, and it had 12 tracks on each CD, and the show in the morning is 4.5 hours and the show in the evening is like 6 hours. And so the show in the morning, the men go up and I play the CD, and while the CD's done, and he's like, oh, just play it again, just play the CD again. I'm like, okay. I'll just play that again, like we just didn't hear this again, we didn't hear this just 45 minutes an hour ago, whatever. Okay, cool. So I played again and all that stuff, and then the girls come up, and the same thing happens. So anyway, it's getting later in the event in the morning, and I just take over as a DJ. That's what I do. I'm just gonna take over and just start playing music. And he comes in the back, he's all discouraged, and he's just like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, I can't listen to this CD a third time. I'm sorry, I just can't do it. And he goes, No, it's good. Keep it up. I'm like, all right, cool. From then on, we've been great friends, and he just lets me roll with the punches, and I know how his music works, and I'm loading in the competitor's music, and that was one big thing that took a lot of time. Was these competitors would come up with thumb drives and CDs, and people would plug them in, wait for them to load, and then go, okay, you can go now, and then they press play, and then it plays. Loading a CD,
like 4 seconds of lag time.
All right, you take out the old CD from the competitor before, you put in a new CD, you slide that in the drive, or slide it in the CD player, wait for it to load, which takes probably 10 seconds for it to load. It's like got to find all the tracks. It's like, okay, this is an 8-track or 10-track CD and whatnot. And then it's like, okay, I'm ready to play. And then you press play, and it takes another 2-3 seconds for it to play. So all in time, it takes a good solid, I'd say 13 to 18 seconds for one CD to play. And that's a lot of time for people to just be sitting there waiting for the music to play.
Sure.
So I preload everything onto the computer, and then when it's time for them to actually do their posing for their music, I'm like, what's your number? And they're like, 34. And I'm like, 34. Ready to go. Boop, go. Yeah, it's you download it, make it MP3 format, and you just press play, and then it's there whenever you want it to be there. And it's convenient and nice that I don't have to shuffle through CDs. What's your number? 34?
It's not in here.
That's a
Milli Vanilli.
Well, that's it. So there was the grand champion of the show last Saturday, and it was a great show. The social distancing happened, but it was the first show since COVID happened where they didn't have to wear masks on stage. So that was really cool. That was an option for them, and everybody was cool with it, and everything went great. And it's it was a great show. Anyway, this guy, he forgot or he didn't have his music, or his music didn't load, or I don't know. Maybe I didn't. Lost in translation. Sometimes they give CDs to people and then forget to. Like, if you're in a bodybuilding competition and you have a CD, write your name on it. You don't have to put your number on it because sometimes you don't know your number yet, but write your name on it at least, right? And so he's like, well, my thing is the
oh yeah, Phil Collins.
Phil Collins, yeah. So he's like, just play it from the start, and I'll just go from there, and I'll just do my act. And I'm like, okay, cool, sounds good. Well, anyway,
In the Air Tonight was the name.
In the Air, exactly. In the Air Tonight, Phil Collins. So I'm ready to go, and he's coming up. He's one of the last competitors, and I look over, and he's like, yeah, my music, you got that. I was like, oh, yeah, you're In the Air Tonight guy. Okay, cool. So I cue up Into the Air Tonight, and he walks out, and I press it, and it's halfway through the song already. And I'm like, whoops. Like, my bad. It was pre-cued from some other event that I had, and the DJ program that I use, you can put hot cue points in, and it'll preload to the hot cue point that you want it to preload to. And so yeah, it started right in the middle of the song, which it started at a good point in the song, which was great. But right at the end, when he's doing these mega poses, he goes for his first mega pose, and it's like do 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 do, and it was
The timing was perfect.
It was like he got off the stage. He goes, "I know you didn't start at the beginning, but man, that was perfect. That was great timing." Because the drum solo towards the end of the song would have never came up if I would have just played it regularly. And he ended up winning the competition, which was great.
Oh, nice. It was because of Phil Collins. Thank you, Phil Collins.
It was because of that. No. Anyway, he's got another event for me. I'm going to be heading out to St. Louis the 8th of August. So just not this weekend, but not next weekend, but the weekend after. So
it's nice that you're getting back into work.
Yeah, it's it's good for him too. I mean, this is a source of money for Jack, and whenever I can work with him, I'm all for it. And one time he did it at like an elementary school, and he just had regular people running it. And he goes, "Britt, it was a disaster. I should have had you." I'm like,
why were you not there?
I told you, man. I said, I'll go anywhere you need me to go. You just buy me a plane ticket and a hotel room. We're good to go. So,
and maybe my per hour charge.
Well, yeah, that too. There is a per hour charge for sure. But yeah, no,
we had some comments from the Peanut Gallery.
Yeah, what's up?
Corey had posted that two things. That a shot of bourbon dropped in a glass of red wine isn't too bad. That sounds interesting. I'd try that. I actually found a barrel aged.
Hold on. Let me hear you right on that one. A
shot of bourbon.
A shot of bourbon
in red wine.
In red wine.
Yeah. Which
I would try that.
The last wine that I got, and actually I'm not ashamed to say it, but it's from Bada Box. It was a box of wine, but it was it was bourbon barrel aged red wine, Cabernet actually, and it was fantastic. Very dry. It was assertively, so you have to like flavor, but it was delightful. I was very happy with it.
They do it the other way around. There is they take wine barrels and sometimes make whiskey out of them. So I mean,
that's just what I had here.
The other way around.
This one right here is we had that one. That was my last one. This is the Cabernet barrel whiskey.
There you go. That's yeah, I wrote that down. Write that down. Any other comments there?
That was good.
Yeah.
The other comment. Yeah, the other
Van
comment
Wilder?
was
I was actually just thinking of him the other day.
Ryan Reynolds or Van Wilder?
Ryan Reynolds. And his wife was doing something very charitable, as she does. Blake Lively. She was doing something real charitable. And yeah, beautiful Blake, beautiful Ryan. I'm sure have beautiful babies. Beautiful people. Anyway, yeah, no, they're good people, and I want to see another movie from him. I mean, he was great in the one where he wears the mask. Deadpool. There you go. Yeah. Oh fuck. Oh darn.
That's fine. At this point, it's whiskey. Whatever.
Right. Well, no, Deadpool's like that. I mean, you don't watch Deadpool and don't think he's not going to cuss.
Right. Yeah. Oh, it is definitely adult humor. Don't let your kids watch it.
Right. Yeah. Not for
but very
kids.
funny. Did you see the Deadpool 2?
Yes, of course I did.
That was almost more hilarious. Just some of the
almost just as good.
I mean, like with the X-Men, but it was like the ones you hadn't heard of. And he's like, "Oh, apparently we didn't have to have the budget to get the real X-Men."
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. They just had some blasé people there at the house.
Yep.
That was good.
Yeah,
that was good.
Very funny. But yeah, the other comment that he had that he used to use Dr. Pepper as a mixer when he was trying to hide Grandpa's scotch when he was a kid in Texas.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'm gonna do this.
I do have some scotch coming up.
I'm just gonna mix it then. If he said he did a mixer.
Well, yours isn't just Dr. Pepper. Yours is Dr. Pepper cream soda. So.
Oh my gosh! I mean, the American whiskey. It's good. Batch number 1. Being as though it's batch number 1 from 2017, a fairly new company. I mean, heck, what are we going 3 years now? It's been a company since it was batch number. It might have been batch number 1 for that.
I was gonna say they've been a company longer because they had to age it for a while.
Let's see if they got something on the back. Aged at least 2 years. Thanks, man. Anyway, out of California. They could have been only 3 years old. Anyway, Brian, I've been talking. What do you? Can you do some talking?
Yeah. So the other night I had a fire pit night.
Ooh, and you
with
didn't
my
call
brother.
me.
Well, it was for my brother-in-law because they're in town from New York.
Oh yeah,
and all
yeah,
that,
that's
so
right.
need
The
some time.
sommelier,
Yes, he's a sommelier.
sommelier.
And they're probably moving here, but we're not. There's a lot of options on the table, so we'll see. But anyway,
Well, they're moving from New York, so
New York. Yeah, there's a lot of
anything
stuff
is
crazy.
better than.
Well, yeah, better's a relative term, I guess. I mean, if you're talking COVID cases and
Well,
shutdown,
it's not
yeah,
Portland.
yeah. It's in Florida. It's
Right.
even worse now.
Yeah.
Anyway, my neighbor comes over, and we were drinking on whiskey and scotch and all that stuff. And he comes over and he's like, "Hey, I got a beer that I want you to try." And we were like, "All right."
Okay.
Now, as Britt said,
Bushlight Cherry.
my brother-in-law is pretty close. My brother-in-law is a sommelier, and we are collectively drinking on whiskey. And he comes over with some almost frozen, like slushy bush apple.
Bush apple.
And-
That is the new jump off, I hear.
So I was like, "Thank you. I'm actually gonna try it because like it's hot outside. We're at a fire pit. I'll crack it open for sure." And you know what? It was very refreshing. It was just like apple juice. It tasted like, and not even with a kick. It just tasted like apple juice. I'm like, yeah, all right. I'm drinking beer, and it's just apple juice.
Who was the one that did a coffee?
Well, Pint 9 did the
No,
Cafe
no, no, no,
Olay.
no, 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 no. I'm talking Pabst. Pabst did a coffee. Is it Pabst Blue Ribbon?
Well, there's a lot of people now doing coffee beers.
Yeah.
I wouldn't doubt it. I think that you're right. I think Pabst is one of them, but there's several out there doing coffee beers because the Pint 9 Cafe Olay is a
Yeah, Pabst Blue Ribbon coffee. They did the
cold brew.
yeah, the hard coffee or whatever it was called. They've got a new one out. And let me find out what that one is. Is it seltzer?
Oh, they're trying to do like this not your father's root beer, that kind of thing, only with
Right. Yeah.
coffee and
They've
seltzer.
got a
and-
seltzer now. But no, this guy, it was some kind of cherry or something like that. I was at Casual Pint and he brought it in, and I'm just like, oh, what do you got there? What do you got there? It's not even out on the market yet, so I don't know if I'll find it. But
Gotta know somebody.
gotta know somebody. They got a hard tea, Pabst Blue Ribbon hard tea.
Like a sweet tea or like just a tea or a lemon tea or
That I don't know.
because a hard tea just seems like I don't know. I mean, I'm a fan of iced tea, but and sweet tea and lemon tea, all the things.
All the things.
Are you looking stuff up on the program? Is that what you're doing right now? Shush. Shush.
I don't know. All right, I'm not gonna look too far into it. Anyway, Pabst Blue Ribbon's got a new thing out that sounds amazing. Anyway, what do we got?
Oh, we got protesters marching right now in Omaha. I just got
Where
the
at?
alert. In Douglas County Courthouse.
Marching for what?
Did not say. I just got the little blurb.
All right. Well, they're marching downtown again.
Mhm.
You know, all right. We'll talk a little bit about it, and I don't want to, but we will because we solve the world's problems one drink at a time. Brian, I want to hear your thoughts on Portland. I want to hear your thoughts on the president finally saying, "Hey, your city is getting destroyed. We're going to send some help," and them just helping them out.
Yeah, I think that if you don't, I mean, so it's so polarizing because you don't want to say because I have a lot of friends that are actually police officers, And I am a firm believer in
Talk for
law
a
and
minute.
order because without it, then there's anarchy. And so we saw that in Portland, and the what was it, Chaz, the Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone, and then the CHOP. I don't remember what that stood for, but they created their own territory within the city that was a no-go zone, and they put up borders and walls and guards and all that stuff. And I the more you looked into it, it was just so crazy, and they were extorting money from the businesses that were there, and the mayor wasn't doing anything, so the president stepped in and said, well, if you're not going to do anything about it, then we are, because we can't have people setting up their own zones, basically, like it'd almost be like states seceding from the union. We saw what happened last time that happened. We had a civil war, and so to quell it, I mean, he sent in these, I honestly don't know what they are.
They sent
They're
in
saying
troops.
they're-
They sent in troops to deal
well,
with it.
well, no. I think they're, from my understanding, is they're federal agents, but they're wearing military-style gear without any names on them. So I don't know. Exactly
They're
what
they're
they
kind
are.
of a greenish color,
Yeah.
almost like you would see an Army Reserve kind of style.
Right. And while I am for the law and the order side of it, I am also for accountability for our government.
Right.
So
I'm
if you're-
I'm for accountability of the mayor
that
taking
too,
accountability for his
I
city.
discussed that when you were gone. I had talked about
Sorry,
that.
my the
She, was,
so
she wasn't doing anything.
I'm on to my next whiskey here, and
And
I pulled
I'm
the.
behind. Sorry, I did pour like more of a 3-ounce on this last.
You're
one,
fine.
so-
I pulled the cap off of the whiskey bottle, and the plunger, the cork, stayed in the bottle, and so I'm like, oh crap. I don't have a wine bottle opener here, so I had to run upstairs and grab one
Mhm.
to pry it out. So anyway, your thoughts, I'm sure I'll review them and listen to them, but my thought is, for one, we kind of briefly talked about it on the last show when we were in San Antonio about CHOP, or
Well, yeah, I said it was Chaz.
it was
Capitol
Chaz
Hill
first, yeah,
Autonomous Zone, and then it went to CHOP, and I don't know what that stood for.
which
but-
is funny because Carly had a
yeah,
she-
whatever. Yeah, I
Carly had a
basic-
stuffed animal, and it was a hippopotamus, and she named it Chop, as in chop suey, because
Mhm.
it was a suey hippopotamus
Mhm.
stuffed animal. So when they
I
named
get
it,
it,
when they named
no
it Chop, I
MSGs.
went, oh my gosh, it's a suey
Chop suey,
hippopotamus town. Anyway, like I get allowing protesters to protest. I am all for protesters voicing their opinion, as long as they do it nicely, as long as they do it without bashing windows or lighting things on fire. But if you want to protest and have a silent protest, or Martin Luther King march down a street, I'm all for that. But these looters and rioters are not protesting. They are just
Yeah.
destroying that city.
And that's not what that area. Well, I mean, that's kind of how that started, that area. But then they wanted to secede from.
And
city.
the protesters might not be doing this looting and rioting, but there are people that are doing it. Maybe not the protesters, but there are people doing it, and the mayor is not stopping it from happening.
Right. Yeah, and I get like allowing them to do, like, to the when they started cordoning off sections of the city and then burning down the police precinct. I went, okay, that's when you step in. Like, you went from a peaceful protest to burning things to the ground and extorting money out of
Yeah.
the local businesses there. That's not okay. Or you went from protesting to trying to secede from the city.
I think that the president did it right, and he waited to see if the mayor could establish a ground,
Which you should.
which you
I mean,
should
leave it up to the states.
leave it
or the
local,
government.
because it's
Yeah.
your place, and let you
Yeah.
do it for a while. And he kept looking and he kept looking, and I would have reacted the same way. I'd be like, dude, you ain't taking care of your city. I'm sorry, I gotta take care of your city for you. I'm gonna send some people your way. And I don't know why I don't know why I got a little crazy like that and talk like that. And that's just my serious voice, I guess. But I'm gonna send your stuff. It's not. Yeah, it's not how Trump talks. That's how I talk as if I were a president. But I'm. Here's what we're gonna do. I have a plan.
As he breaks out his brass knuckles.
Right. I'm gonna come in there with my choppers. I'm gonna chop some people in the chop zone. No, I'm just kidding. No, don't do that.
Awe your ass right now.
Not gonna do that.
Happen.
No, I just I'm glad that something is happening rather than tearing down, burning down, destroying. Hopefully, something better will come of this. And I hope in the next few days things get better for that town, because Portland.
I haven't really been paying a ton of attention to the whole thing, but there's been like reports.
Well,
of, like,
and it's so
federal agents just pulling people off the street and
it's so
and taking them somewhere.
Northwest
like,
of us that we don't really pay attention to it unless I guess like if you
anything that happens within the borders is we want to
in
our nation. But I've tried to purposefully tune out some of the news just because I needed a freaking break.
Right. No, I totally get it, but I did want to bring up some of the hot topics within this conversation that we have. Like I said, to
I'm gonna have to pour another one for that.
Yeah, and like I said, I poured another one.
What are you doing?
Well, this is where I would love to be at right now. It's Wyoming whiskey. I would love to go to Wyoming and just be there and hang out in Yellowstone and be amongst the nature and the Teton Mountains and things of that nature. In fact, we just had our brother-in-law, Eric, just got back in town from going to Yellowstone, and they had so much fun. Erica was telling me that they were in Montana. I was like, no, if they went through Wyoming, they could have just gone. But if you follow I-90 curves up into Montana, goes through Bozeman, and you come down through Big Sky and go that way. I was like, oh, he was in Montana.
How about them apples?
And no. It's if you've never been up to the northern part of the Rockies, like I said, the Yellowstone area, there is a reason why one of the presidents declared that land a national park. It is gorgeous. It is beautiful. It is.
Oh, the Tetons, unbelievable.
Well, no, Yellowstone. I guess Tetons are kind of on the edge of Yellowstone, but it's a sight to see. It's clearly it is the most beautiful thing in nature that I've seen. Just, I mean, the waterfalls and the water and the herds of buffalo and the elk and the rolling plains and the air is amazing up there, and the water. I have never.
Do you need some private space for these thoughts, bro?
I have never had. I lived in, like, I've explained on the show that I actually lived in Big Sky, Montana, which is just north of Yellowstone by 10 minutes. It is on the most southern tip of Montana, almost Wyoming border, and the water from just the tap out of our condo that was up there, amazing. It was like, oh, there's an iceberg. You're in the middle of July, and you just turn on the cold water, and it's like ice cubes are coming out, and you're just like, oh, cool. I'll just, it's like, is that from the top of the mountain?
It reminds me of Waterboy, that water that he had that was gifted to him from a shaman, and it was the waters of Antarctica or something like that.
The water in Montana. There was a gas station here in town. It was the Phillips 66 in the Dundee area, and there's that Phillips 66 in the Dundee area. And there's one gas station within this like small town community of Omaha. Anyway, there was water from Montana there, and I'm like, oh, that's kind of neat. It was, instead of just being a clear bottle, the bottle was kind of like a translucent, like aqua blue. And I was like, well, that's kind of interesting. And then I picked up the label and I was like, from Montana. I'm like, oh, this is cool. So I had some and immediately went back the next day and bought more of them because I was like, this is Big Sky Montana's water. And I essentially bought them out, and then I went there like a week later, and I'm like, where's the re-up? Where are you getting the water? Where's the water at? And they're like, oh, that was just a trial. And I'm like, no, it wasn't a trial thing. No, you bring it back. I'll buy more. Brian, I am not kidding you. I've reached out to multiple Montana bottling water facilities to get that water, and they don't distribute to Nebraska. And my question to them was, how close to the border of Wyoming can you get? And I will drive it and pick this up.
I'll rent a U-Haul. I will come pick up as much water as
I am
need.
not kidding you. The water, I mean, I've got an RO unit at the house, and it's good. And speaking of that, I probably need to change the filters on the unit upstairs because it's been about a year and a half, and you're supposed to change them every 2 years. So I mean, it's getting close. So, and it's good for filtering out the reverse osmosising the water of Omaha, which is, chlorinated and from the Missouri River, but the water, like, I swear the place that I lived at up there, literally the water ran down off the mountain, and they're like, oh, there's a creek, just put a pipe there. And then it just came out of the faucet, and you're just like, oh my gosh, yeah, this is good. Mm-hmm. Anyway, there's my water story. Yeah, no, we need to talk about whiskey. Yeah. I got into Wyoming and the whiskey, and we didn't even talk about it. Yeah. This is Wyoming whiskey. It's a double W right there in the middle, which is kind of cool. It's a 44% at 88 proof. This is the small batch of bourbon whiskey, distilled, barreled, bottled, and in Kirby, Wyoming. Wow, it's like a vacuum. Kirby, Wyoming. Oh, and then on the back, that's cool. Batch number 36, and the date was 5/26/2016. I love it when they write stuff on labels. It just it feels more authentic than just a printed label that you get off of any old factory line floor. It's like they took the time to actually write stuff on this label. That's cool. Just a
I agree.
little added effort.
Here's the one that I'm drinking on.
Ooh, it's very dark. It's dark. It's mysterious. It looks like Sopranos.
It is Nika Japanese whiskey, pure malt.
Remember Nico? Nico here in town?
Club Nico.
Club Nico, man, that was a cool place.
Anyway, this is a Japanese whiskey.
Nika, not Nico.
Right. Mm. Yeah.
Where's it from? Japanese whiskey.
Yeah, it's Japanese whiskey, which I've been getting into more.
I'm sorry, Brian. I just realized you have a head scratcher behind you.
Oh yeah.
Back scratcher, head scratcher, back scratcher. I've got one of those upstairs too. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Don't get me wrong. I love it.
No, this Japanese whiskey. I'm getting into it, and this one, definitely a lot of nose on it, and they have to be careful on how long they age it because if they use American oak, they can age it fine, but if they use Japanese oak, it imparts so much flavor. And I've had some really like chewing on bark Japanese whiskeys. This is a little more harsh compared to the ones that I've been drinking on, but still really good.
I will say that this sent shivers down the back of my spine, and a good whiskey will do that to you.
This is a little smoky too.
Ooh, smoky. I like it. I like smoky. Mm-hmm. This whiskey is, like I said, definitely when it went down my throat, gave me shivers, and then warmed my throat, but gave me shivers down the back of my spine. Very good. Very good, sir. Good shivers.
Body good. Aching all the time. Mama.
Mama.
Sorry, that was a Queen reference.
I know, that's why I said it. Mama.
Scaramouche, will you do the Fandango?
Send a bolt of lightning.
Very, very frightening me. Galileo.
And that's how we get
Galileo.
around copyright laws.
Yeah, yeah. Mhm.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Brian, interesting stories. I want to hear an interesting story. I've had like 20. Oh, boom. Yeah, let me put you on the spot.
Sure.
Hey, do you ever listen to those comedians I sent you?
I did. So yeah, that one that was talking about the selfies and the.
Oh, he was funny.
Oh, I laughed so hard on his. That was so much fun.
I will pull him up shortly.
Yeah. I think it when I was on Netflix. I think it came. It was either Netflix or YouTube. It came across, and I was like, "Oh, I just watched that."
So, big fan of dry bar comedy.
Yeah.
His name's Rodney Laney. Rodney Laney. If you go to Dry Bar Comedy on Facebook, he's got a how long is this thing? It's a 24-minute performance.
Worth watching the whole.
Worth watching the whole thing. He starts off with cameras, and like it's amazing how technology, the first cameras that came out. He's like, your grandparents' first cameras were like accordions, it's like
And they had a cape.
and they had a cape. It's
Like
amazing.
you stand way over there. I'm gonna take shelter.
Yeah, and the guy holding the flash, he was holding a bomb.
Yeah. Away from the camera.
Yeah, right.
You
Exactly.
stand over there with that.
Rodney. What did I say his name was? Rodney something.
Yeah, but then he's like, back then you had to wait like when we were growing up, we had to wait like a week to get our pictures back to find out you took a picture of your thumb.
Rodney Laney.
Yeah.
Rodney Laney. He's pretty darn funny.
Yes, it was. It was very funny.
I like comedians. They're funny.
Well done.
That's something that everyone needs in their life is a little bit more humor, a little bit more laughter.
That's why I'm getting the motorcycle license, because I want to just, I don't want to just like come home every day and just like drink. And I don't drink every day.
I was going to say,
but
Brian, I wouldn't put that on the air.
It's pretty close. Yeah. Well, you know what?
Every other day.
During this whole COVID thing, like alcohol sales spiked.
Of course they did.
Planet-wide.
Of course they did.
Planet-wide.
Well, they have a whole, a fourth of the country is laid off from their jobs, collecting unemployment. It's going to
Did you
spike.
hear about the coin shortage?
Did you hear about the guy that turned in he had 5-gallon buckets of coins, and he's like,
Mhm.
"Oh, I heard about the shortage. I'll just turn mine in," and
Yeah.
it was like a stupid amount of money. It was like
Do you know
was like-
why we're running out of coin? Why we're on a coin
it was like
shortage?
$20,000 worth of coins.
Insane.
It was ridiculous. It was ridiculous.
Just back the truck up. Just,
Just like I don't even
but do you know
how to
why
do
we're
that much.
running out of all the coins?
Well, because the bars weren't open, the restaurants weren't open, so the money cash flow of coins weren't happening. So
for me, I think it's because we were running out of common sense.
oh, boom, slow boom on that one. We were running out of common sense. That's good. No, mine was real. Brian's was fake, but that was good.
Yeah. Well, was mine fake?
No, it's because people weren't using cash and they weren't going to, they weren't going out, and so I get it. I get why there's a coin shortage. I also don't get why there's a coin shortage. I'm like, can't
Well,
you?
yeah, it's because
just
of the
make more coins.
like you said, it's the transactions, the cash transactions, because cash carries COVID apparently.
Well,
so,
just
like, nobody was
quit
using it.
making $100 bills for one day, and you can make all the coins for the rest of the year. It's like I don't know. Stop the printing press of $100 bills and make some coins.
That's a different. Like it's a.
It is a different
completely
because you got
thing, yeah.
silver and you got copper.
Right.
And okay, I get it. Okay.
Wow, not really. I mean, there's more zinc in pennies than copper. So
Still, there's precious metals in that, whereas
it costs more.
money
to make
is just paper.
Yeah, it costs more. Well, is it just paper?
Well, it's
not.
funny money. It's like no.
Try and burn it. As you do.
Try and burn it. No, I'm not going to burn my money, Brian. And those who are watching, please don't burn your money because Brian said so. No,
How about microwaving aluminum foil?
Brian, that's a good way to destroy a microwave. Come on,
I know.
common sense, Brian. Common sense.
I know, but somebody put it out there like you take make a ball out of aluminum foil, put it in your microwave, and microwave it, and it turns out all smooth. And somebody tried it. They're like, "You literally just burnt my house down."
Don't
Well,
do that. Don't we
don't-
we do
don't
not
do that.
condone doing that. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Gosh, Brian, it's good to be on the airwaves again, just you and I. It was a lot of
It
fun.
is.
It was a lot of fun doing the podcast in San Antonio again.
From Tejas.
Yeah, again, we so missed you out there. But just you and I
I
doing the
missed being
podcast
out
was
there.
just a lot of fun. We just kind of rambling on, and
Yeah.
and our topics
kinda
of
like this one.
conversation just kind of go
yeah.
wherever they go.
We will get back to doing topics and all that, but during this whole COVID stuff, we could do topics, but the problem is the big topics that are out there are always out there, and I think people are sick and tired of hearing about it. So I
Well-
didn't want to do another COVID
And
topic. It's like
it-
everybody knows about it.
anybody who's actually talked to the two of us talking about the show, we tend not to stray too political on the show. We just don't really want to offend anybody. If you listen to us long enough, you do know our stats on where we sit, but we want to keep it light, keep it general. Like I said, when we were talking about Portland, I'm so glad that is taking place, and the president decided to do that action. Me being a president, I would have done the same thing. I would have been like, take over your city, take over your city, take over your city. Nope. Okay. We'll send some people to take over your city. But we don't want to offend anybody. We're nice people. We're good. We're good brothers. We're good brothers.
we try to be.
Literally, we are brothers.
Yes,
If you don't know us,
you didn't know. Yeah. And now you know.
And now you
It's half
know.
the battle.
there's a little star that just went off in the corner. The more you know.
Should I?
Whoa. There's a flashlight there.
Oh man. Interesting stories. Man. Things have been so crazy that
Well,
there's not a lot of interesting stories out there right now.
interesting stories are the kids are going back to school.
Okay, so that's a polarizing issue. So
It is a polarizing issie, and I
for me, I think no matter what the school district does, though, it's wrong. If they send the kids back to school, it's wrong. If they don't send them back to school, it's wrong. If they send
Correct.
half of them back, or if they send them on a staggering thing like OPS is doing, then it's wrong. It's like,
well, so I'm in the District 66 zone area, and the District 66 zone area is saying we are going to fully open, and I am all for that. Now they said that the kids are going to wear masks all the time, and I went, the teacher's going to spend all day just saying, put your mask on, put your mask on, put your mask. So now they've kind of condensed that a little bit and said they have to use it in the hallway, in the bathrooms. They've got to use it for PE. When they're in the lunchroom, when they're going to get their lunch, they've got to wear it. But when they're seated, they don't have to. And in the classroom, they don't have to. So I agree with some of the rules that they have to do. And I have to agree with some of the rules that they are saying to get my son back into school. Do I want to have to keep my... They did allow the option to say, do you want to homeschool your child? You keep that up. We do have that option. So I'm wondering about teachers right now. So being as though they're going to have kids that go back to school, there's going to be a certain amount of mothers that say, well, I stay at home, so we're just going to homeschool. Like, I don't want to deal with that.
which that's been going through the roof. So we're seeing that.
So I guess my question is, you know how we're doing what we're doing right here. So I've got three things going on right here. I'm recording. We're sending out to the world. I'm Zoom meeting. Is this going to be the new normal for classrooms? Like, should I go to Westside and be like, hey, I can set something up for you where the kids can just be there but not be there? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This is instantaneous. Brian, I can say, hello, Brian. What do you say?
Hello.
Yeah, exactly. It's instantaneous. I can make this little hub happen to where... But my only concern with that is when we grew up, Brian, we grew up small town Omaha. We grew up Punk Hills. We grew up small community, and it was good for us. We got off the farm or semi farm. We got off the farm and we got to go to school, and we got to see kids and hang out with kids and make friends with those kids and go hang out with those kids at their house, after school and do, overnight things on the weekends and be a kid. The parents that are telling the kids, like, all right, you ain't going back to school because of this COVID stuff. Well, now you're just keeping them away from all their friends. And if they set something up like this, they're going to see all their friends playing at school, and they're just going to be sitting at home going, oh, I'd love to hang out with Timmy because he's playing with sparkle paint right now. Like things of that nature. You know what I mean? It's going to be tough on some kids. It's going to be tough on some parents, too. I mean, that's going to be tough.
To that, sorry to turn this up a little bit. To
Sorry.
that note,
You're getting very, very white on us right now.
well, so
Well,
Monday,
you were saying something about grandparents the other day when I was talking to you.
yes, but let me say this one first.
Yeah.
So my oldest daughter, just on Monday, went to a funeral service for a classmate of hers that committed suicide.
So your
Was it
oldest
because of
daughter is
assaulting?
not that old. So
Yeah, he was 11, and I don't know. I mean, you can kind of guess. I mean, I don't know if we'll ever really know why, but I mean, you can
I've heard of
kinda
a
guess.
14, 15, 16, but I've never heard of 11. That's a little
Yeah.
young. That's a little young.
And I mean, when you start hearing that, you think bullying and all that, but this couldn't have been that because they weren't in school and they weren't doing anything. And
So it was
I-
the way
I
the
wonder if
parents are
it's-
treating them?
or it's just the way the world is going, and it's just wearing on our kids.
They did say, I mean, I watch the news briefings at the White House.
I don't, and I want to be upfront. I don't know that that's what that was, but I mean, it's a very real thing. I think this is taking more of a toll on our kids than we're really knowing.
I watch the White House briefings. Kylie, it's the new press.
The new, yeah. press
She's like a lawyer. She's phenomenal. She's straight to the point. She doesn't let anybody talk over her. It's just like, hey, you asked the question. Cool, I'm going to answer your question. I'm going to move. And this person keeps asking. And she's like, I'm done. We're over here. Very beautiful woman. Very smart and intelligent woman. And that was one of the things that she brought up was that, suicide rates on kids being away from school. I mean, we've got to take that into effect. We've got to say they need this interaction with other people besides family members. Kids can't just be at home all the time. I mean, let's just shoot back to Little House on the Prairie. I mean, you send your kids off to school. They come back. You send them out into the field to do chores. They come back home and you eat dinner and they go to bed. They aren't with parents all the time. They aren't with one person the entire time. They get to interact with multiple people. And if you confine a kid to one or two, as a mother and father, if you confine a kid to two people, I'm sure it's highly stressful on that one kid.
So today, the girls went out and they saw a friend of theirs that they're in theater with, and they've been doing all the right things. They've been socially distancing, haven't really seen anybody, but she had surgery for some, like her teeth are too big for her head and is becoming a problem with breathing and all that stuff. And so she had some surgery done and she was at home, and they went to visit her and gave her cards and all that. And we have been so strict with social distancing and all that with the kids. And when they went there, my wife let them give her a hug. And my oldest broke down crying because it was the first person outside of the family she was allowed to hug since March.
Yeah,
I mean, that's just-
your kids came over and delivered Mayday baskets to my house, and I had to talk to them from the porch and I wasn't able to give them hugs. And
Yeah.
Carly and I were talking. I was like, the last time we saw the kids was for Carly. It was the Mayday baskets. For me, I helped you out move the fitness equipment, and so that was kind of like, or not March. That was like May. So like mid-May, I think we were moving that fitness equipment. But that was the last time I've seen your family, Brian.
Yeah. It's been.
I mean, I've
it's
seen
been
you
hard for them.
one or two times,
Yeah.
since then. But and
we can
this
do this, too,
this yeah,
which is
this
awesome.
has happened a lot.
And this, I
wanna
mean, I
reach
think
out
this
and
is a
touch you,
nice.
Brian.
I know, right? Yeah. This is nice, but it's not like being with somebody, like being up close and personal.
It's not
and right
social.
next to-
This we are virtually interacting. We are not socially interacting.
yeah. There is a difference between sitting in a room with somebody and doing this.
This
what
helps.
we're doing.
This does help.
It's better than nothing. I mean, that's kind of where we're at, right?
Yeah.
It's better than nothing. So at least we get a.
I'd rather have you here on the other side of this 6-foot table that we have here, though.
I do miss that.
I'm just saying.
Yeah,
This is a 6-foot table. If we're gonna social distance, this is the table to do it with.
It is, yeah. That is especially if we turned it sideways, right?
It's 5 feet, but then if you count the chair you're sitting in and the chair you're sitting in, it's 6 feet.
We got that. We got the 6 feet.
It's got we have the 6 feet at this table.
Yeah. I don't know why 6 feet's a magic number. I mean, I
know,
get
right?
there's like some science.
I've
behind it,
seen the memes.
I didn't know the virus.
They're
turned
like,
off
if
after
the
6
6 feet works, why the mask?
Yeah.
I don't want to get into the whole mask situation.
Right.
And
Yes.
I did, for those of you that follow me on Facebook, I did put a post out there about the masks and how on the side of the box it says that it doesn't protect against the coronavirus. Essentially, it's the company that makes those masks saving their butts in case somebody wants to sue them.
Yeah.
And-
Well,
and
I also, so we got a
people
comment
went-
here, Britt.
Go ahead.
So it says, "Is Britt drinking Screwball?" No, Britt's not drinking Screwball.
Who asked that
He
question?
is Mike. Mike, but
I like 12 mics, Brad.
I know, right? Yeah, we've got so many. Mics.
But no, Screwball is actually. I wish I had some left. I went through that bottle fairly quickly.
Britt is a screwball, but he's not drinking Screwball.
Fair enough. Fair enough. But no, I put that post out there, and it was so daunting to see the amount of people that came back at me that said, "You have to wear your mask." Britt, why aren't you wearing your mask? And it was a great conversational piece with like 12 or 13 people. And at the end of it, I thanked them for the conversation. It was a Tuesday night, and I was just all like, and nowhere in the actual dialogue of the thing I posted did I say I didn't wear a mask. They came to that conclusion on their own because I posted that these masks weren't COVID-19 compliant, not going to save you from it, because they have to write that, because it's, if somebody dies wearing that mask, they're like, well, Jerry was wearing the mask and he died, and now I'm going to sue you, because, people could sue anybody for nothing. We were just talking about the other day.
Yeah.
But it was just weird to see that they came to their own conclusion that I'm not going to wear a mask. Now, do I wear a mask? Absolutely, I wear a mask when it's mandatory. When it's has a thing outside that says, "Hey, dude, wear a mask." I go, "Yep, okay, I will comply. I will comply, absolutely." But if I'm jogging, if I'm jogging out in the general public, I don't feel that I need to wear a mask when I'm jogging in the general public, and in the general public, there's not that many people where you would be jogging,
or jogging.
or jogging.
Apparently, you just run for an extended period
I
of
also would not wear a mask sitting in my car at the stoplight
time by myself.
by myself.
I've seen that.
So
I've seen
I've seen,
that
they're just trained to wear it, and that's fine. That's fine. Do you. I'm a very healthy individual. I can say that I went to Texas and I came back COVID free. I've been in multiple situations where I've been around a lot of people and made it through it. I have a very good immune system. I've been a swimmer. I've been a runner. I've been soccer player. I've been a t-ball person. You know, I feel that I am a healthy individual. You know, and those that are scared to send their kids to school, they do say that the kids are the least likely people to get that.
Well,
because their immune systems are amazing.
I will say.
But are you going to get
clarify
are you
that
going to
they're-
get chickenpox?
they're getting-
You might get chickenpox. You might you
so-
might get COVID. But
Right, but what you said is they're not getting it, and they are getting it.
yeah.
They're-
Let me. I guess I went a little too far on that one.
Yeah, they are getting it. It's just their immune systems are, like you said, knocking it out of the park, and it's fine. They're getting better from it.
Yeah.
What God, this is such a polarizing topic. We're on it anyway, so let's just talk about it. Like the whole mask mandate thing.
It hit hard in March and April, but it wasn't a mandated thing then. But now that we're in July, it's a mandated thing. I'm like, well, wait a minute,
Well, and I think a lot of that has.
But
to
they
do
say,
with
if you want to get better, you got to do this.
I know,
and I understand. Here's what, Brian. I'm sorry to cut you off.
You just don't keep talking.
But here's what it is: if you're sick, if you feel chest pains, if you have a cough, if your nose is filled up and you're talking like this, and you're like, I really need to get some eggs and bread. They have services out there that will deliver right to your car, and you don't have to go inside these businesses. There's options out there. Just take the option. Stay, like, if you called your employer and said, I really feel sick today, they're not going to go, no, I really need you to come in today. No, they're going to go, no, stay home because you're sick. Options. There's tons of options out there. It's the sick people that come out and are sick and they do stuff. That's what's spreading this all. If you don't feel sick, do what you need to do.
Well,
if you're sick, stay home.
There's a lot of asymptomatic people that have it, but are asymptomatic, and they don't know they have it, and they don't feel sick, and they feel fine, but they have it. So that's an issue.
That is an issue.
Where I'm at with the masks is with a mask mandate, unless you are shutting down bars and restaurants, also with a mask mandate, you're not doing it right, because you can't say, well, we have a mask mandate throughout the city. You wear it.
And those cities are labeled. There's only 13
Yeah.
cities or 13 states out there that don't have a mandatory mandate.
It's growing all the time, but yeah. But there's also things that are open, like bars and restaurants are still open, and it's like, well, hold on. If you're mandating masks, but you're keeping the bars open, how do you wear a mask at a bar?
You can't.
You can't. I mean, so it's like, then it's not about the masks. So
then it's about the 6 feet. Right. Yep.
Well, yeah, Drew's saying eating is a loophole for man.
Drew, what's up, man?
Yes.
We haven't seen Drew in a minute. What's going on, man?
Yeah, but I know it's a loophole, but it's a loophole that doesn't make sense. Either you're mandating masks or you're not. I mean, that's where I'm at. Like, if you're mandating masks, then sorry, then bars and restaurants can't be open.
Right.
You can eat at home. You can order out. You can get to go. So it's. I don't know.
And we also could go down the rabbit hole of, if this wasn't an election year, would it still be the same way? Yeah, no, like
there's so many people saying, well, it's not a political thing. It is. We're in an election year. You can't.
It's
set that
political.
aside.
It's semi-political.
Yes, that is a factor. I'm not saying it's the whole thing.
No,
but it is a factor.
Is there a disease? Yes, there's a disease. Has it killed 1% of the population? No, but kind of a little bit. Is the survival rate 98% or something like that? Sure, absolutely. And somebody I was talking to the other day.
Moving on to the next one.
I'm actually kind of rotating back through. I just did some of the Wyoming, but I just dashed a little bit of the Dr. Pepper in it. Oh, Glenfiddich?
Glenmorangie.
Yeah, sorry. The light was hitting it a little hard.
This is the port cask finish, which is like
say that again. I'm going to go grab one off the shelf.
Glenmorangie, the Quinta Rubin port cask finish, 14-year. This is a Scotch, and oh yeah, it sounds so nice. I'm gonna go with the Glencairn glass on this one. So I do love Scotch. I love all whiskeys, but Scotch is one of them. All Scotch is whiskey, but not all whiskey is Scotch. That is a nice golden 14-year. That looks good. I agree, Drew. I see your comment there. I just said that to my wife the other night. I said I am sick and tired of fear ruling our decisions, and that's kind of what it seems like we're at right now. And I understand that we're trying to curb all this, but there just seems to be so much fear in making these decisions, and that's not a place where I want to be making decisions. I completely agree with you on that one. Ooh. This is good. If you've never had a good Scotch, I've had friends of mine that said that they just can't do Scotch. Well, it's because you haven't had a good Scotch. Because there's so many out there, so many different varieties, so many different flavor profiles, so many different, burn levels and all that. We'll see how this goes. Oh yeah, that's nice. There's like oakiness right on the front.
Sorry to keep you hanging there.
Oh, you're good. Drew and I were kind of having a conversation, and then I was talking about the Keith Reuben.
There you go. So, Brian, I have a plethora of liquor at my house now, which is plethora of liquor now at my house. And so I can just keep grabbing stuff off. Wow, I should probably actually push this back. This is 110 proof. And I didn't realize it was
just add a little water to it. It's fine.
All right. This is the Alabama style whiskey. Alabama. Clyde Mays, Alabama style whiskey, 110 proof. And normally you see
it'll get you where you need to be.
Yeah, it's 55% volume on that. Again, Clyde signed this. Clyde May in pen, or at least it looks like he wrote in pen. And it says approved by for public release, and he signed his name. That's pretty cool. And oh my gosh, the writing on the bottle reminds me of like old style writing, like you'd be down in Louisiana, like the old like
drunk writing. No,
you see that?
Oh, give me a second here. It's gonna. There's like a 15-second
It's
lag.
cool. It's cool writing. Yeah, no. This you got the live watch, which is about 20-second delay.
Oh yeah. I believe I've had that before.
It says while others sold their moonshine, we had ours. We aged ours in small batches of charred oak barrels. Experimented until he created his own unique finish, Alabama. A spray of Clement?
It'd only be better if it was from Greenbow,
Alabama.
And those of you that don't get that reference, shame on you.
Shame on you, Forrest Gump. Shame on you. Greenbow, Alabama. I gotta. Just the music alone in that movie was great.
Oh, the feather theme. Still love that music.
I bought the the 2-disc set of
disc. Britt, what the hell is a CD? What's a disc?
It's a CD, 2 CD set of Forrest Gump, and oh man, it's great. It
that's old school.
Those that have Spotify, just type in Forrest Gump soundtrack, and you'll be amazed with all the great music that's played in that. So let's.
Oh, it is. It's like the it's like the previous generation's Guardians of the Galaxy soundtrack.
Oh, Britt. Not as bad as I thought it was going to be, though. Yeah, not as bad as I thought it was going to be.
I almost brought.
Man, it's
So,
110%. I don't get it.
so Mike,
I'm going to mix this with a lot of Dr. Pepper. I'm sorry. It's good. you know,
our friend Mike.
if
that's
you
been
want
on
to
the
get drunk
program-
quick, you go right
That's
on
the one.
and do that.
our
I don't
friend
know
Mike
why I
that's been
talk
on the
like
program
Alabama
before,
style this way.
He brought me some Montana whiskey, like distilled in Montana, and it is the put hair on your chest, just make you go cool when you drink it. Not smooth at all. Just
Yeah.
oh, it's borderline.
It's right there,
moonshine.
moonshine. Yeah, I was just going to
Yeah.
say that. Perfect.
Yeah,
Oh, very nice.
I almost thought about putting that in the in there, but I didn't know. Like this is the last one that I have, but I can always go back.
Man, my insides are still warm. Doing this.
That's
'cause-
actually a
insides are
fun one.
warm.
Like in the winter or colder months, and you drink something and it just like warms you up.
Yeah,
That
right.
is a neat feeling.
It is a neat feeling. It hit my stomach and now it's coming, not vomit back up, but it's the heat.
Clarify,
The
yeah.
heat is coming back up.
Like your Guatemalan.
So I could do this?
Your natural heat.
And my wife goes, "Oh, you got whiskey on your breath." Yeah, well, that's what I drank last night.
Mhm.
That's what I did.
An aphrodisiac, really.
Aphrodisiac. I haven't heard that name in a while.
Oh, speaking of, so
Speaking of
I've been listening
aphrodisiacs, go for
Yeah,
it.
so-
I love.
yes.
What is it?
so I've been listening to 90s on the 9 on Sirius.
Oh,
And,
nice.
Remember Downtown Julie Brown? Remember her, the DJ?
Yes.
So she's still on and doing it.
What?
And
I didn't know she was still
yeah.
working.
Yeah, she's on Sirius XM, and
That's cool.
She's still doing 90s on the 9. From MTV. For those of you who don't know, who
If
that
she
is.
like 90s.
no, she's still rocking.
No, I'm
still
just
sounds
kidding.
good.
Don't. She's great. She's a great DJ. Disc jockey. Disc
But,
jockey.
Yes, she was talking about, she was going through the years in the 90s on like the best, the top number one hits of each year and all that. And in you know what was interesting about 1992, Britt, as far as music was concerned?
Bop wasn't in the mix.
No, that was later. That was
That's why I said Bop was not in the mix.
Yeah, but that was the first year that CD sales outpaced tape sales, cassette tape sales. It was
Huh.
1992.
Huh.
So
I still have cassette tapes, and I have a cassette tape player.
yeah,
I have a
still
good
some
story about that.
mixtape-
I have a good
mixtapes.
story about
Well, hold on,
cassette
hold
tape.
on. Let me finish this.
All
one.
right, all right, that's fine.
So 1992. You know what the number one song in 1992 was? And it references the aphrodisiac.
I don't know. Alanis Morissette?
No,
What?
Baby Got Back. by
Baby
Sir
Got
Mix-a-Lot.
Holy crap, Brian! I crap you. I crap you not. That I had my first two CDs that I ever bought in my entire life. The very first CD that I bought, and I bought them at the same time. So, first CD, PM Dawn.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Set Adrift on Memory Bliss.
Second CD, Baby Got Back.
Oh,
Sir Mix-a-Lot. Sir
you know what my
Mix-a-Lot
first CD
was I those were my first two CDs that I bought same time at the CD store at the Crossroads Mall. It was like a CD warehouse
Yeah.
place that you didn't have to subscribe to. You know what I mean?
You could just walk in. You could, and was it one where you could like go sample?
You could
them and
sample
put the
headphones.
on and-
Yep,
Yeah,
yep.
You could check the headphone or check the disc out. You know what my first CD was? Boys to Men, Cooley High Harmony.
Oh yeah. Boys to Men. ABC, BBD.
BBD, East Coast Family.
That's great, Brian.
Mhm.
Gosh, first CDs, man. Oh, another good first CD for me was the Mortal Kombat soundtrack.
Oh, dude, I love the Mortal Kombat sound. I rocked that so much. Mortal Kombat.
It was techno in its prime, but Brian, you know what the hardcore techno,
almost like house techno.
You know what was the jump off of that? The Blade soundtrack.
Oh, that was a good one too.
That was a great one for
Well, and then
techno.
after that, then it was Matrix.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So those were.
Man,
some
we're
good
dating
soundtracks.
ourselves, aren't we?
Dude, but you know what? Those are some classic movies and classic soundtracks.
They were.
but now you can just look them up on iTunes. You don't.
No, you
kids
just-
today, kids today,
Yeah.
they won't know the feel of
Yeah.
opening a new cassette.
And if you
tape.
don't have Spotify or iTunes, you can just go on YouTube and type it in too.
you know what I find interesting is back in cassette tapes, you had side A and side B, and then we went to C, D's.
So
Yeah, Duran Duran. That's another one. Drew put that one out there. Duran Duran
Oh
and
my
the
gosh.
Police.
I want to have
Ghost
to.
in the Machine. Yeah. Those are some good ones, Drew. I like those.
I took a picture of something just the other day. See if I screenshotted that right.
Personally, like, I know Police is good, but I personally like Sting when he actually went out on his own. Police had some great hits. Don't get me wrong, but that was a little before my time.
All right.
So, Mike, what your first CD, Red Hot Chili Peppers? Which one was it? What songs were on that one? Because I'm a big fan of the Red Hot Chili Peppers. They got some crazy songs, and they got some really cool songs.
Brian, here we go.
U2. That was U2 was the last concert that I actually went to. They were still rocking it. I just went to them about a year.
I'm only going to play like 5 seconds of this. You ready?
Mhm. Oh yeah. Dear, I fear.
Music
What did I say?
Sounds Better Than You by Stardust.
Mm.
Gosh, I came across that soundtrack and I'm like, oh my gosh, this song.
Isn't it amazing how music can just transport you back to a time and a place when that's apparently why
better
it was
place.
in the 90s and the 90s. 90s and what were we doing in the 90s? We were in high school in the 90s. And
You know, that's one of my wife's favorite stations. Like when we were outside hanging cabana style in the pool, she's like, "Can you put some 90s on?" I'm like, "What kind of 90s you want? You
You
want
bet
rap?
we
You
can."
want R&B? You want pop?
Mhm.
You want what do you want?" She's,
And Mike, Under the Bridge, that is still one of my favorites. Red Hot. That was the song that actually brought me to Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Oh my
Was
gosh.
Under the Bridge.
Oh
I
my-
love that song.
to pull this up.
And the video. The video's good. It's a
Pop
good
up
song.
video. Oh, another great one. Pop up video.
Pop up, yeah. Back when MTV used to play
Music?
videos.
Oh man, those were the days.
hmm
Beavis and Butthead too, man.
Oh,
You do
oh.
pop up video and then Beavis and Butthead in there. Gosh, it was so good.
I'm the great cornholio.
I have
I need
TP
pee for my bunghole.
If I could just play like 10 seconds of each song, you know what I mean?
It has to be 9. Otherwise, no, I'm just kidding. I don't know what that.
I don't know.
rule is on that. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's a good one right there. Getting jiggy with it.
Right?
That was Will Smith right there.
Right?
See, I could totally be on that. Didn't they have a show where they played like literally 1 or 2 seconds of a song and you had to guess what song it was?
They did do that actually.
Mm-hmm.
Gosh, man. I'm looking.
That was so. I was a fan of Will Smith back when he was known as the Fresh Prince of Bel Air. Before Fresh Prince of Bel Air, but just the Fresh Prince, DJ Jazzy Jeff, and the Fresh Prince. That's when I became a fan of Will Smith. I missed that one. I was talking.
That was Crazy Town Butterfly.
Oh,
Be
dude,
but
that was,
fly.
that was a club song when I was going to the clubs.
Right?
Good one. Oh, jeez. Superstition.
Right? I mean, there is so many, like, the music in the 90s, they didn't have to cater to anything. Like, nowadays, they've got to cater to somebody's money. And so these,
You have like 12
All right, all right,
producers
all right, all right.
writing,
so the oldies will be the oldies, and the 90s will be the 90s. But today's music, what's it gonna be? What are you gonna say?
don't
Oh,
think-
that's
there's
the
still
new age. Well, new age is a sense of music too. So like, there needs to be a name for the music today, because the Wiz Khalifa, not Wiz Khalifa. Let me I don't even know the Broccoli song.
Oh, yeah.
That song. Like, what's that song gonna be clarified as?
Sure. Oh,
Crap,
well, and I hear-
crap,
I have a
the
theory-
crap music, or
No, I have a theory on this one
trap
for-
music.
Trap.
Trap music. That's what they're gonna clarify it as. Trap music.
So I
And it
know
was
the
a
theory on
trap
that
if
one,
you
but
listen to it.
I want to answer Drew here. He put Linkin Park in the end.
Oh, Linkin Park
Fantastic
was
song.
great.
And that was one of my karaoke songs when I was doing karaoke big time in my former life when I was a karaoke jockey. Insane in the Membrane. Cypress Hill. That's a good one.
Sorry.
All you had to do was that. And you knew exactly what
You
song
knew
that
exactly what it was.
was.
We're staying within the guidelines. I can only play a few seconds of these songs.
Right. So here's my theory on, everybody's like, oh, they don't make music like they used to, right? I mean, everybody says that, like, oh, back when I was younger and that music was so good and all that. So if we think about the music that we remember from like the 70s, and I'm
The
I'm
oldies.
just talking about,
I mean,
right.
records. I have records right over there
Right.
from the 70s.
Brit, oldies are now the 90s. Okay, so that's the oldies station.
I
But
don't think the 90s will ever be called the oldies. I think the oldies will always stay the oldies. And people, even 100 years from now, they're like the oldies, and they're like, oh yeah, the 70s, 80s area, the era. I think the 90s will always just be called the 90s because it was such a different, vast genre of different music from back in the 70s, 60s, 70s, 80s. 60s, 70s, 80s. They had like heartwarming music that you could sing along to, and it was joyful, and there was no like flip it up, dip it down, banger. Like what is that? What is she saying when she says flip it up, banger? Do you get me? There's a hidden language in today's songs that's not good for kids to listen to. But if a kid wanted today to listen to any 60s, 70s, or 80s song, I'd go ahead. No problem with it. It's the oldies. No problem with it.
Yeah. But so here's my theory on that. So the songs that like we're talking about from the 70s that we remember, that were popular, that everybody knows those songs, Spirit in the Sky, and those kinds of songs that like you immediately recognize those songs, right? Because they were great
Bring
songs.
me a treat.
That's more like 50s. That's more like 50s.
Right.
But anyway, so those are the songs that survived.
Down by the dock of the bay.
Right.
Wasting
James
time.
Taylor,
Yeah.
those are some fantastic songs, but those are the ones that survived. There was a lot of crap music back then too, but like what you remember are the best of the best. And that what makes it
Benny and the Jets.
Exactly. Those are some great songs from that era that we remember because they stood the test of time. Whereas today, like what we're living in now, all we're hearing is everything. We're not hearing the best of the best. We're hearing everything.
Yeah.
So in 10 years from now, the best of the best that is happening right now will actually be what stands the test of time. So we'll look back, 10 years from now, we'll look back on this time and be like, oh, those were some really good songs from that time period.
But
so
but the songs from back then, I'm saying 60s, 70s, 80s, you could sing every word of the song. The songs today, you could sing the chorus, maybe.
Not every song. I mean, there's fantastic music coming out today. There's also a lot of crap. And I think that's true for every genre, every
I'll agree
decade.
with you on that. There is some Christian rock music that is coming out today that I'm like, I listen to Christian rock because my wife listens to Christian rock.
Actually, not even Christian.
It's getting amazing. Just Christian music.
Like,
just Christian music.
Chris Tomlin, Toby Mac, Mercy Me, Casting Crowns. I mean, just amazing.
Some of that. Yeah, the Christian music is out of control, and it's getting awesome. And God's word is getting into that. And I'm getting now text from somebody that Brett, stop doing that.
You've crossed the line.
All right, no, Simon and Garfunkel.
Oh, I saw. Yeah, from
Drew just a minute
Yeah.
ago. Simon and Garfunkel, absolutely Simon and Garfunkel. I would say even when Simon and Garfunkel broke up and it was just Paul Simon and his album, I used to build decks with a buddy of mine. And I would
nice deck.
I would
huge Huge dick.
Huge deck. I would put on Paul Simon's album, and I'm just like, man, every song in this, like, totally relatable. And it was good music to play out loud. You know, like if the kids ran out while you were building the deck, it wasn't offensive music, you know. But I would hammer away and destroy decks and build stuff.
Listen to Jeremiah Was a Bullfrog. Was a good friend of mine.
Was a good friend of mine.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely was a good friend of mine. Brian. We have gone so far off topic, and I love that.
What do you mean off topic? We didn't have a topic.
We didn't have it. What topic? What are you doing? That's what we do. We just talk about talking about stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we do. It's fine. So what do we got?
We've got a new saying now. It's instead of pimping is pimping is pimping is talking is talking.
Hey, what are we going to talk about next? I literally just brought up like 90s music for some reason, and then we went off on that whole tangent. So didn't we?
I think I did, because I was talking about the 90s on the 9.
90s on the 9. That's right.
Or give me a second here. Ignore for today.
Ignore for today.
Yeah, my screen was about to shut off.
I have a giant pumpkin growing in my backyard.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. So is it going to be a stagecoach later, or what are you going to make out of it?
Bippity boppity boop.
Well done, Britt. Well done.
Thank you.
I was trying to be subtle on the reference, and you totally
got it.
Yeah.
No, I am. If you don't know me, you don't know me. I am all for at least getting one giant pumpkin a year. And this is the first year that I decided to try to grow a mammoth pumpkin. And we are in the middle of July right now. And it is probably about 20 pounds right now so far. About 20 pounds.
Nice. I need to take a break real quick, Britt. I need to say hello to Brazil. We've got someone from Brazil watching.
Hello, Brazil. How is your soccer? How is your football right now?
Mm-hmm. You playing the foosball behind my back?
You playing the foosball behind my back, Mark? Oh, gosh. Water sucks.
Oh, yeah. Running the game.
Gatorade is better.
So I have heard Brazil is not doing too good on the COVID frontier either. Kind of like the United States.
You know, we can go down the road.
Yeah,
you know,
okay, back to life, back to reality.
Ooh, song reference. I love it. No,
Drew asked a question though. He said,
"Drew, Drew. It's great to hear from you again, man. I miss hanging out at the bar with you sometimes and having some deep-hearted conversations. And we will get together soon and do that. So we'll have you back on the show too.
Yeah. What his question is, what was the latest good movie that you saw?
Ooh, latest good movie. Well, not latest movie, but latest TV series. Let's do that. It's not the latest TV series. It's a TV series that I'm going back and watching. So my son, his name is Guyver. And those of you don't know, you don't know, but Guyver is named after MacGyver, and that's what I was named in high school because I'd fix things and I'd just do stuff, and they're just like, "How'd you fix that?" And I'm just like, I don't know. I plugged it in.
I had a
and
pocket
it worked.
knife.
Yeah, I plugged it in. It turned on, and I don't know. Apparently, you don't know how to unplug and plug in things, but whatever. You know, I did what I did, and I just fixed stuff. So I earned the nickname MacGyver in high school, and so I named my son Guyver, and that was really off of a time that Brian and I and Erica, our sister, hung out at Erica's house.
Fire pit night.
And it was a fire pit night, and we were all hanging out. And they're like, "What are you going to name your son, Brett? Your son's about to, he's 2 months away, or this and that." And I'm like,
recollection's a little different.
I said, wouldn't it be funny if we named him MacGyver? But what came out of my mouth was, wouldn't it be funny if I named him Guyver? And the two of you said, that's pretty cool. I like that name, Guyver. And and his other name was going to be Clark, as in Clark W. Griswold.
Kent. Oh, that. Clark.
Not Clark Kent, but Clark W. Griswold. Clark, which was, if he grew up to be a Clark, Clark's a good professional name, very responsible. Not that Guyver wouldn't be at all, but it came out Guyver, and even when I pitched it to my wife in mid-birth, she's like, "No, we're not gonna. Yeah, we're not gonna do this.
Baby, what do you
not
think
gonna
about
do
this?
this." And then we had the baby, and I said, "It's Guyver," and she goes, "Yes, it is." And now we're sitting on a Guyver. So anyway, Guyver and I were hanging out. It was just him and I. The wife was cooking dinner or something like that. And he goes, "Hey, Dad, when we go inside, can we watch MacGyver?" And he's 6 years old, and I went, "You bet, you bet we were gonna watch MacGyver." So that is my new jump off right now. Is him and I are watching the MacGyver series. We just hit episode or season number 4. Episode number 2 we are on. I suggest don't buy it. I'm getting it through Prime. Don't buy per season because it's It's $18 a season. But if you subscribe to the not ABC but CBS app, it's $8.99 a month. And so I was like, duh. Why would I buy per season? I'll just do the subscription for ABC, and now I have all the seasons for $8.99 a month, and I'll just cancel that when we're done watching MacGyver. And yeah, now I have MacGyver on tap, and we're watching at least 2 episodes a night or so, something like that. And he has this little dance that happens when the and he does like this split Egyptian dance, and then he tucks and rolls and grabs a turtle. It's the most adorable thing you've ever seen in my entire life. But I forgot how awesome MacGyver was.
Yeah, it's great.
The scripting and like each scenario is good guy versus bad guy. Of course, MacGyver's going to win because there's 4 more seasons, there's 7 seasons, 8 seasons, something like that, in MacGyver. And like I said, we're on season 4, and I'm like, I don't want it to end. I'm just like,
yeah.
They've been
I
all
was
so good.
so thrilled when they brought that to Netflix. I was so thrilled. I'm like, oh, I remember growing up with this and I loved it, but I never knew like who MacGyver was. So I'm like, oh, I'm totally watching season 1, the pilot episode, that became MacGyver, and I'm gonna figure out who this guy is. And in that pilot episode, they're like, hey, we have these things that are happening, and we need someone to bring someone in. And I know this guy that knows a bunch of stuff, and his name is MacGyver, and we're just gonna use him. And that was the setup to MacGyver. And I was like, wait. Okay, there's no backstory.
But
we don't ever know his backstory.
No, you do. If you keep watching the seasons, you start learning where he went to college. You learn why he had the fear of not having, like, he never carried a gun. Like, he was afraid of guns. You learn that. So, like, in future seasons, you learn why he was the way he was. And one of the best episodes, which I think I may have sent to you and Dad, it's season 2, episode 10. Season 2, episode 10, MacGyver. If you don't watch any episodes of MacGyver, at least watch that one. Because that one episode, there is a married couple that were heading back to Hollywood, and the guy was going to become a glorious actor again, and he's avant-garde, and somebody drops money in his front seat, but it's MacGyver's contact.
Don't tell me too much about it. I mean,
well, let's just say that the Cadillac stretched drop top Cadillac boat that they were driving, MacGyver dismantles and uses, and every time he takes a part off the car, he's like, "Oh my gosh," and he's all like, "We'll buy you a new part for that car." He uses damn near every part of this car in order to get away from the villains, and it's hilarious. And it was a great storyline too. You run out of gas, you run out of oil, you try to take the soft top off of the thing, and he's like, "All right, press the up button for the top." And he's like, Well, it's going to make it fly off. Well, once it flies off, it hits the people that are chasing after you's car and makes them swerve. Just, I mean, it just totally destroys this awesome Cadillac that they were driving in the show, and it was fun.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll have to go back and watch because before it was just the first season that was the only thing that was on there. So I'm glad to see that they got their other.
Oh yeah, no, they got all.
season
They have
one.
all the seasons on Amazon Prime. Like I said, I would strongly recommend buying the CBS $7.99 per month app. That way you can sit and watch seasons. Because at $18 a season, it's going to cost you a bunch of money. Whereas we're at season 4 and I'm only 3 months into watching, so it cost me way less money.
Going back to answer Drew's original question, which we've kind of.
What do you? Yeah, what's the new hottest movies? They're not launching them.
No,
We have
that's
new
not-
launching
That wasn't the question.
Oh, I thought he's like,
What
did
was
you
the
say?
latest good movie you watched? That was his question.
All right, fair enough. I was like, they're not releasing movies.
Yeah. So the last one that I actually just watched, and it's a Netflix one, was Old Guard with Charlize Theron. And it's if you were a fan of Highlander, you will be a fan of this movie. And that's all I'm going to say about that because I don't want you going in knowing too much about it. It's really interesting.
So new.
Chitwell Ejiofor is in it. If you know who that is from the fire or from it wasn't Firefly, it was Serenity, the movie off of Firefly, and he was also in Doctor Strange.
Oh yeah,
He was the one that helped him out. He's in
Nice.
it. Charlize Theron, she's been in a ton of stuff. You should know who she is.
Yeah, right. Crossing her legs.
Yeah, and there's a bunch of other movies or a bunch of other actors that you would know that are in there, but those are the two big name in there, and it's an immortality movie, but different, and it's very interesting.
So I've got two recent.
Mhm.
We want to talk series. I'm going to say Mandalorian.
Oh yeah,
That was-
I can't wait till the next season comes out.
That was fantastic. The way they filmed that, the way they wrote
and
the
there's
script.
a local Omaha
There is.
actor that's in it.
Yeah. Even down to the cartoon artwork before like the show would start and after it would end, there was this cartoon artwork. Amazing. It sucks that Disney bought the scripts to or the storyline to the franchise of Star Wars, which is a bummer. But
Hey
kudos
Tom, thanks for joining.
to Star Wars for creating Mandalorian.
Oh, yeah.
Very awesome.
Little
very
side-
very awesome.
little
They need to
side
keep
synopsis.
doing that side off and let somebody run with it. Let like, all right, this is your pet project. Run with it. And if it's good, it's good. If it's bad, on to the next. You're Tom. You're the next one. You're gonna do the next blah on somebody because there's so many characters of that show. But the latest movie that I saw, which I was actually thoroughly impressed with, and I watched out there in Texas when we were in San Antonio, Texas, and right now you can actually get it on Amazon Prime right now for free if you've got a Prime membership. Knives Out.
Oh yeah, I've been wanting to see that too.
I strongly recommend Knives Out. There's a lot of twists and turns. Like from the movie preview of it, you went, but it really makes you go, that's why they did that. Got it. I like a good thinker kind of movie. I like a good makes you wonder who the person is. And halfway through the movie, I kind of got who it was, and I went, "Oh, I was wrong." So yeah, that's what I like. Oh, you duped me, got me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Knives Out on Amazon Prime. Check that out. And I'm pimping Amazon Prime because that's all I got left on
Right.
on
Yeah.
memberships.
There's a movie that I saw, and I think I've mentioned it here on the podcast before, and it's titled "They Shall Not Grow Old," and it's a Peter Jackson film of the Lord of the Rings fame, the director of Lord of the Rings, and his project was to take World War One footage and colorize it, but also he brought in lip readers that would add the dialogue, because back in World War One they didn't have they have has no dialogue. It was silent. It was just film. That's all it was. And it is really interesting. They add all the sound effects, they add the speech of the people that are on the camera, and it's really interesting. That's another. It's not an easy watch because it's World War One, so it's not an easy watch. Oh, so another notification here. I didn't realize Nick Nolte was from Omaha. But yes, John Beasley was the one that I was talking about from Mandalorian.
If you've
But I didn't know Nick Nolte was from Omaha.
A lot of people know about, speaking of the wars and all that stuff, and I'm gonna go down the Jewish trail. And my wife is part Jewish. We just happened to stumble upon it. The Pianist. It's 2002. It's all about a guy who was a piano player, and he played for High Society.
Be careful how you say that.
Pianist. He played for High Society. He was Jewish, and it really shows how the Germans and the Nazis really hated the Jews, essentially. And he ends up, hiding out in certain places, and he ends up actually playing for a Nazi in his own home that he's been hiding out in. Anyway, I don't want to give too much of the story away. The rest of the night after watching this, we put on symphonies where the main headliner was a pianist, and just sat and talked to each other, and it was a great night watching that movie, and then just playing piano symphonies, essentially, which you can find again on Amazon Prime. Just type in piano concert and you find 50,000 of them. But I strongly recommend that movie.
Can we pause here for a second?
Yeah.
Hey, Sean.
What's up, buddy? Welcome back to Omaha.
I wonder if you'd be interested in joining the Zoom meeting that we're having here.
If you want me to send the thing to him, I can send the thing to him.
Well, I've got it. So Sean, in the chat, if you wanna join the Zoom meeting, let us know. If you got your podcast set up, let us know.
Yeah, talk for a few minutes, Brian. I just gotta slip off.
Slip out sideways real quick.
Go for it.
Yeah, no, there are so many interesting flicks coming out, which is wild for me to think, because if what's been going on, since March, productions have kind of slowed down, and there's not really a whole lot going on. So for all these things coming out, I mean, everybody knows Tiger King, right? That got us through the first the first month of COVID, Tiger King, and Susan definitely killed her husband. We're just gonna go with that. And but then we started coming out with some of the documentaries and all that, and the Jeffrey Epstein thing, which, if you haven't seen that on Netflix, wow, unbelievable. It's not an easy watch, but very, very interesting. The Quiet Place. I didn't know they came out with a second one, Drew. I knew about the first one, but I didn't know they came out with a second one. But like, if you have, like I have, Apple Plus and Netflix, Amazon Prime, what else do I add? Yeah. So no matter what we need, we can find it on iTunes, we can find it on Apple Plus, we can find it on Amazon Prime, we can find it on Netflix. There's so many different streaming things out there. Disney Plus. There's so many things out. I actually just watched Fantastic Four, the new Fantastic Four, which was not fantastic, but if you got it, you may as well watch it, right?
Right.
Let
me know if he's going to. Let me know if you get a text from him if he wants to join.
Yeah, Sean.
Because then I gotta click a button down below and accept things.
All right. Cool. Yeah, Sean. Text me when you're ready.
Yeah. That'd
Yeah,
be cool.
Are you drinking on that 110 proof?
He
Slide
could,
Mane
he could
again?
join on his phone, Brian. I mean, we don't
Well,
need
he's
to.
got his whole podcast set up in his
Awesome.
apartment,
And
so,
we
yeah.
need to, like I said, connect with that man, and get that thing taken care of.
So are you still drinking on that Clyde May?
Yeah, no, I just poured another one, but I'm quickly diluting it because it is 101 proof, so it is on the higher end of octane. So I am doing half the Dr. Pepper soda, half and halves.
Yeah.
Because I'm not gonna make it too much longer if I just keep on drinking the 101.
Yeah, Drew, I heard about Tenet, but is that one of those that's indefinitely postponed, kind of like Black Widow? She had her origin story that got postponed indefinitely.
Speaking of Drew, I mean, Drew, if you've got your phone set up to do a Zoom meeting, you're more than welcome to join too if you want. Just let us know if you want to, and I'll text you. Anyway, we can have more
Just
people.
get
We can
everybody
have
on
more
here.
people on this. So just
Yeah.
we went
Mike-
from
Mike,
two
if
to
you wanna-
we can.
Yeah, if you want to join too, I mean, we just
Remember
get
that
everybody
night
on
we were, what was it? We didn't film it. Unfortunately, sorry guys. Sometimes we do things in private. But Brian and I were just hanging out. Brian's like, "Can we do a Zoom meeting?" And we just hang out. And I'm like, "Yeah, let's do that." And we hung out. And Mike ended up coming on board. It was
Yeah,
like
not this mic, but another mic. Yes.
yeah, it was like midnight, and he's like, "Just got home from Wyoming," and we're like, "Hey, jump on."
Montana. Yeah.
And Montana. I'm sorry, not Wyoming. And yeah, we ended up hanging out for a whole nother hour. It was great. It was actually a lot of fun. So this show had no premise to it, so might as well just roll with the punches. Is that who I think it is? There we go. Send me the link.
Oh, yep, I got you. I'll get him, Britt.
All right.
Why don't you roll
I was just gonna copy and paste what I gave you.
Oh. All right, that's fine. Go ahead and do that.
Barrett, copy, paste, done.
And
Yeah.
let's see, is he going to hop on? That'll be fun. We'll bring another person on.
Yeah, and bring another person on. Not that this show's already gone long enough. We'll just keep it going. Like, there's no stopping us. There's no stopping us. No. No, I just it is what it is. I've got so much booze in my basement right now.
I know, right?
Like I said, Brian, you need to come over and check out all the stuff that I got.
Help you out with that.
Help me out with that.
Sean's podcast, though, I guess we should mention that before he pops on there, is called Culture of Craft, is the name of his podcast.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, he's got a new one out, and he's been testing out some. He's got a few episodes out there, and he's doing pretty well. He just moved back here to Omaha, so we have another local podcaster. So I'll be interested to see when he hops on here. Hey,
Yeah.
Mars, thanks for joining us.
Mars, what's going on? Mars' husband actually reached out to me, and it might have been Mars. You guys, we do need to do a podcast with you guys. They've got a cool recording studio in their basement.
Oh man, they've been doing some live music.
Live music,
Yeah.
it's been great.
Awesome.
So huge shout out to them. If you don't know the Mars family, I don't really need to get into what they had and what they did, but they are good, solid people. Yes, we need to hang out, Mars, and hang out, and do this podcast stuff with each other. So
The things and stuff,
and
for sure.
we just like getting the word out on what's going on in Omaha. I don't know how far back, Mars, you're listening to this conversation, but we did touch on some dodgy situation stuff. I mean, that's the whole premise of the show, but now we're kind of talking about movies and waiting for another friend of ours to come on. So
Yeah,
it is what it is. We just we do it.
and drinking on whiskey. That's right now. I'm drinking on rum. I did have one rum and several whiskeys. Had 2 American whiskeys, a Japanese whiskey, and a
Right.
Scotch.
And I've got this stuff
Right.
here.
I went back to the
This-
rum because it's so
This
smooth.
stuff here.
The pineapple rum from Plantation.
Oh, you went back to the plantation.
I did. It was so smooth. So thought it'd be a good one. I might. We'll see what I hit up next.
Yeah.
Not sure.
Right. Yeah, Mars, wish we could be hanging out at your bar, but, unfortunately some circumstances happened. But good to hear from you. And like I said, we need to link up and come to your recording studio or do one of these. Do one of these live Zoom meeting style events. You can see that Brian. Hello, Brian.
Hello.
Exactly. Yeah. The connection. I've got. I upgraded my internet and I have a terabyte or gigabyte or it's whatever. I got the fastest internet.
You have a
can get in Ohio.
terabyte internet, Britt.
I don't know.
No one in the planet has a terabyte internet.
Actually, that's what
Where did you get
that's
that
what
from?
T1 is, Brian. And yes, some people do have terabyte
Like-
internet.
What?
Yeah. No, it's the thing. There's T1 lines. T1, T2.
No, that can't. That's not possible. T1 lines have been out for a long time. That can't be terabyte internet. That's
Brian.
insane. That's a huge trunk.
The internet at CHI Event Center downtown has terabyte internet. I'm sorry. Sorry.
Okay. So
Yeah.
corporations, yes.
Yes, corporations.
Personal use, yes.
Yeah.
Personal use. Nobody has terabyte of internet. It's
yeah.
gigabyte internet. Yeah, I
Oh,
mean,
there we go. What do we got?
hey,
Hey, admit.
we'll see how this goes on Britt's screen.
Yeah, we'll see. Hello,
Hey, Sean.
Sean. You gotta press show video, and you have
Is
to
the-
click
Is
unmute.
the ONOFF button on?
Right. Exactly. But he'll be here. It should split screen, or at least maybe when he talks. Hello, you there, buddy?
Yeah, it depends on the view that you have.
No, remember when Mike was here? We split viewed it. I don't know.
Well, yeah. It's your view. You're the one that controls the view on yours. So there's like presenter view or split screen. There's different. That's on your end.
I know. I said share screens anyway, he has to go down and click remember how like you were only just showing video and you weren't
Mhm.
doing audio and you have to click the button for audio? He's got to do that.
Mm.
But we'll see. We'll
Yeah.
see. Maybe
We'll see what happens.
he's watching on his phone and doing other things with his computer. But there is a third person here. I can see that. There's 3 people here.
There's 3 of us, really.
Hey,
Hey,
I heard him.
There we go. Can you hear
Hey,
me?
I can hear you.
Now we can hear you.
Now you have
I don't know.
to share your video. So you've unmuted yourself. Now you have to
You
share
are
video.
sharing his video because I can see his video. You just have to show it up on the TV, which is
I-
a view.
Let's see. I don't think it's going through.
Oh, there it goes.
my
Now I see a video.
microphone, though.
That's presenter view is what you have it on. So whoever's talking is on your screen.
Oh
Brett.
yeah, all right.
Let's see here. Let's see if I can get this figured out. This whole Zoom thing.
No, you got it.
It's
though.
only been a few months. Yeah. You just-
Hey, dude, get off my back.
I hear you, and you pop up on my screen, so that's great. You got it. No, we hear you just fine.
Oh, I just don't hear it on my
Headphones?
On, myself. On my headphones, yeah.
So the way I've got it is I only port the audio back out to the live audience, so you don't get a reverb effect. You know what I mean? If I ported the same audio from my board to you, you'd hear yourself and hear a reverb because it'd be a second delay.
That makes sense.
So now, like, we can totally hear you, and you're acknowledging my conversation to you, even though you can't hear yourself.
Hey, that's
But
all
you
right.
do hear me in your ears.
It's so
more
weird.
more specifically, Sean, what are you drinking on?
Yeah, what are you drinking on?
2 minutes.
Oh, come
Oh,
on! You
fail,
weren't set
fail.
up. Come on! All right. We'll just keep it going. That was good though. That was excellent. So no, like I guess my thing's on an auto switch mode. I guess I can go into gallery view.
Yeah, it's called presenter view.
There we
That's
go.
what you have it on.
Speaker view.
Not even 2 minutes.
Not even.
There
2
you
minutes.
go.
Well, there's,
All
There it
right.
is.
well,
There
there's
it is.
that.
That's the view.
But that's
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So we got Everything
Cosmic Eye?
Has Eyes by Cosmic Eye out of Lincoln, Nebraska.
Yeah. Nice.
I don't want me in the video is what I don't want. You know what I'm saying? It's like a redundant
Oh.
screen of redundant screens.
It's the School of Redundancy School.
We'll just whatever. Can I shove it off?
Drew's drinking on Goose Island 312. That's a good
Hey,
staple.
hey, can you hear me? Did I just go away?
I do like that Goose Island in general out of Chicago, right?
Yeah, Chicago. I've had some. It's been hit or miss for me, depending on what they brew. But they've got some good ones, and they've got some ones that are like, meh.
There we go.
Yeah.
I guess that works. You guys are up and down on each other, but well, that sounded way weird. up and down on each other.
Sean, I like you a lot.
I miss both of you. I just don't know how much though, guys.
Yeah, exactly. So we had briefly talked about your podcast.
Yeah, fill us in.
Craft.
Fill us in. You coming back to Omaha? I see you
Yeah,
got some things written on a board behind you, so you got something going on.
Yeah,
Oh, we're not supposed to see that. That's the
all
future
right.
episodes.
That's the office stuff. Let me just erase that real quick.
You shall
That's
not.
funny. We couldn't make it
No.
out.
It's been a bit. Yeah. So when I was in Lincoln in Des Moines, Iowa, I started a podcast, kind of took after you guys. It was called Culture of Craft podcast, or it is called
Holla,
Culture
holla.
of Craft. It's really with a focus of going to breweries and taping on site with either the owners, the brewmasters, sales, kind of whoever wants to talk about their brand. And it's really just trying to target this untapped market. I mean, the Midwest, especially
I see what you did there. Untapped. I like that.
untapped. Exactly right. Just like the app. No, but try and target that market that's really overlooked a lot when it comes to the wider beer community. Obviously, we have a lot of Facebook groups and stuff like that.
How about that?
support
How
the
about that
local
hat?
community. I can't see it.
The brew hat.
It's coming.
Oh, they.
Oh yeah, it's
It's
that
just
hat.
too low. There you go. There
It's
you
that
go.
hat. So there's I have two cameras. You guys are on this camera, and I've got the main camera here.
But no, so yeah, it's been fun. We I started doing it finally in January. I'd been wanting to do it for a while and was like, I'm just gonna jump in with both feet. Might not have been the best time to do it, but with everything going on, but it's definitely been fun.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Do you end up finding a intro song? I know you were looking at different songs. Did you end up finding one?
Yeah, I think the one that I sent you there, that kind of rock-ish
That's good.
that I'm going to use. Just have to do the final editing. It's been kind of on the back burner with everything going on right now, but definitely something I'm trying to put more time and more effort into again. Now I'm getting more comfortable in the area again.
Yeah, I like your 5168 brewing.
I was literally just gonna say that your shirt. It's good.
Remember these guys?
Oh, yeah.
Charlie
No, it's-
and all of them.
I
Dude,
remember
they're-
that episode that we did at the
Oh, yeah.
place.
They had some great beers there. Their that Hawaiian Porter. That was
so
still
good.
amazing. Mm-hmm.
I think they changed over to Catalyst Brewing. I believe it's the same.
Yeah, I
correct?
could never remember when they switched the name. I was like, I can't remember the name that they switched to because it's no longer 5168. It's a new brewing company now.
And it's still brewing out of Lincoln, isn't it?
Yes,
As far as I
correct.
know. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, no, I from what I looked them up a little bit online, and it looks like the major beers that they had, that Hawaiian Porter, a couple of the other ones that they had that were really, kick butt. It sounds like they did keep those beers. They might have made some new ones, which I'll have to figure out time to get down there to try it.
Sorry, I had to go get more ice.
Bringing his ice in. Yeah. Mm.
Sean, it's been a while, man. I missed you, buddy.
Hey, missed you guys too, man. It's it's good to be back in Omaha.
In the NE.
Yeah, oh yeah. I definitely like Des Moines, but it's good to be back. It's no Omaha, so.
I know. I
Oh,
was
I
actually in Des Moines not too long ago. It was, I don't know, maybe 6 months ago. That was a while ago, but you were still there 6 months ago, and I should have looked you up. I totally, sorry. When I was there.
I get it.
Yeah,
and
I'm
also
sorry.
for personal reasons, I have a one of my instructors from my school because I went to school up in Ankeny, and one of my instructors, he is a local musician there in Des Moines. So I was kind of hoping to go hang out with you and see him there at the same time and all that, but
Hey, that's all
alas.
right. Once things get a little bit more back to usual, we'll make a trip of it.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
always
he's-
get time to
he's-
go back.
Well, and now because of COVID, he's been doing live from his living room, which has actually been really, really cool.
I've seen a lot of artists actually do that. A good friend of mine, Andrew Bailey, who was in the Jazz Holes, He's been in lots of other bands, but he actually sang at our wedding. He's been doing the front porch live from my front porch in his neighborhood.
That's cool.
Yeah, no, it's so cool. And then other people come and do stuff with him.
Yeah, you get a Vimeo account or something like that.
Big shout out to Andrew Bailey. If you want to look him up, he's a great artist here in Omaha, Nebraska.
Yeah.
Andrew Bailey.
And you can still support them digitally. If
You
wanna
can.
watch what they're doing and
Absolutely.
still support them. It's pretty cool. Yeah, they take PayPal and Vimeo now.
I do too.
I do too.
we do as a show as well. We're on Patreon, but I really
Yeah.
don't announce it.
Yeah,
Ooh,
it's
the
yeah,
Patreon.
yeah, a lot of things with that.
Yeah, I understand. It's a lot to take on. I mean, you guys have been doing your show for quite a while now, so you kind of have that regular. But just looking at adding that, it's like
Oh
way
yeah.
over my head. Not anything to worry about.
When
Yeah,
when did you hop on the show? When did you start listening to us? Not at 8 o'clock.
He started.
Oh, I just jumped in a little bit ago.
So
'cause
there's a new
was-
brewery in La Vista that we were talking about.
it was a tap room.
Tap
so
room.
the
Oh, yeah.
Heights Draft House.
I saw some stuff on Facebook about that. The place looks sick. I mean, it looks very
yeah.
nice.
Yeah,
Way
we got
awesome.
an invite there, and so we went there the other day, and we got about 30 or so taps on there. But like the technology that they're using is crazy. What? Well, 33.
It was yesterday. He's like, we were there the other day. No, yesterday.
Well, still, yesterday is the other day. It is another
Fair
day.
enough.
It wasn't today. It's another day.
It is.
Come see, come
But
saw.
no, the technology that they're using on their board, it's not only like other places where you see, the name of the beer, but this has like the
Quantity of beer.
ounce- Yeah, the quantity.
So the
here's-
keg,
here's-
you see the keg draining. Like
Yes,
if it's a
that
full
too.
keg, if it's half keg, if you're trying, like, let's just say you want to go across town to go to this tap room, and you want a specific beer from that tap room, and you see the keg is in red, it's like, well, do you get in your car and travel 20 minutes across town? So yeah, it's interesting to see that you can actually physically see what taps are happening
they
and
don't
how
use
much.
Untapped. It's their own.
Yeah.
App. Well, not their own, but they have an app that they have.
I believe-
But also, they show the ounces. Like if they're serving your 4-ounce pour.
It's
or
called
your
Digital
6,
Pour.
Yeah.
Digital
is the name
Pour
of the app.
came out of California.
So a number of years back, I mean, not a number, but it was probably 5 years ago, 6 years ago now. I was living in Tampa, Florida, and in St. Pete's Beach area, which is right across the Bay Area. I can't think of the name of the bar or the tap room to save my life, but they had like a kind of a local chain. I think they had like 8 or 9 different locations in the Tampa Bay area, and they used something like that too, where they would show how much of the keg is left, and then they would show like what keg is going to come in after that. so
Yeah,
that
if
you
you're
can kind of
there,
race
if you're
kegs to try
there,
to
you
get
could
the
see what
next
kegs
one.
are happening.
Yeah, it was pretty cool actually. Very, very unique, and it was right. They probably were using either the same program or another similar one, but they were also, kind of competing with Untapped, because Untapped just started doing their.
Well, with that said, at the top line on the very top of the bar on their screen, Untapped was happening. So whenever Brian would have a beer, he'd log it on Untapped, and it would go to the top of the menu, and it was like Brian, which he's got a unique name, and he put and he used
I do.
he realized there was profile picture you could put with it, so he put Drink Talk, and now Drink Talk ends up at the bar, drinking on beer at the bar. It's self promotion. It's great.
It sure is. I've done that a couple times with I think like here in I think Scriptown started using the menu system too, but Brickway Brewery and Distillery does. A couple other breweries have it there, so when you check in, it shoots your name right on the top on the list there. It's kind of fun.
Yeah, it is.
Fun to see you.
Yeah, it's kind of a social aspect while you're there. It's pretty cool.
So what have you guys been up to? I mean, I know you. There's been a lot, but I know you have family, Brian, staying with you. Is that correct? Is that
Not
still
anymore.
happening?
Not anymore.
They were staying with us.
They came and they
we had-
went.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
We had the in-laws with us for a little while, and now they're not. But we do have the other part of the family in from New York. There's a lot of question marks on what's going to happen, and and if they're going to stay here, if they're going to move back, and there's so many options on the table. So, but they need to happen relatively quickly because the school year's coming and they have kids, and so
I have a
happens.
tomato problem at my house, and I've got way too many tomatoes right now.
10-foot tomato plants is what
You
he's
want
got.
tomatoes? I got tomatoes.
10-foot tomatoes.
No, literally
Plants,
my
the
plants,
plants.
Oh,
my
I know,
tomato
I-
plants are 10 feet
Right.
tall.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
This isn't the tomato that ate New York. This is
No.
This is the Little Shop of Horrors, Brian, and it's the plant that ate the kid.
feed me, Seymour.
Feed me.
Oh. Who was that? He was in
Rick Moranis.
Moranis, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
From Ghostbusters and
Yeah.
Strange Brew.
And who brought the
Strange
dog?
Brew. Nice movie out right there. That's
Strange
I-
Brew is one of my
the
top
Canadian.
three
Hey,
favorite
hey,
movies.
out the bat, eh?
Yep. Yeah, I'm from Minnesota. Might as well be Canada.
Out the boot.
Close enough, right?
Sure is.
A hop, skip, and a jump. Maybe just a hop.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't you know?
Don't you know?
Mhm.
Britt, what have you been up to, man? It's been, I know, Brian,
You know,
I
it's
failed on inviting you to help me move.
I
but-
know. Like Brian said, I'm helping Sean move, and I'm like, you could have called me. I you know, with my industry, it's been a little slow going right now because, you know, of COVID and you really can't have large gatherings, and I'm a big events person and I can't do that. So odd jobs, you know, here and there, helping out the family. Yeah, my grandma is now in you know, where she needs to be in care. So I've been taking care of her house, mowing her lawns and all that stuff. And to mow her lawn, it's 3 hours. Come on.
And it is lawns. You were
Lawns,
correct in
yes.
putting
It is
plural on
multiple
that.
lawns. Helping out the family, spending a lot of time with the kid and the family, which is good. Again, friends, you know, every single, like, I would say a 7-day week, I've probably got 4 days I'm doing something and working. So it's a positive thing, you know.
That's very good. It keeps you busy and
It keeps them, yeah, it
keeps you
keeps-
sane and
Yeah, right. Yeah. People are like, "Oh, you're on unemployment." I'm like, "Well, yeah, but not really. Kind of. I work still. Like, I'm a man. I'm a MacGyver. I'm a fix-it of all fix-it things. So there's a lot of people that reach out because they know that I'm not working. That, you know, yeah, I'm still keep busy. I've had little to no downtime, except for when I was in Texas.
yeah. Before I moved back, I was also temporarily unemployed, and I was going stir crazy. So I was so happy to come back and get back working.
You know, Sean, I want to go back. I so want to go back to work right now. I last week, I actually worked on Sunday and Wednesday last week, and it was the best. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm doing the things, I'm hanging the stuff, and I'm running the show, and, you know, I'm doing the stuff. You know, like it felt so good, and then it was over, and then I went,
Wah, wah, wah.
I'm on unemployment. I am on unemployment. It's sorry that I have to be on unemployment, but I so want to go back to running the shows and doing the things and running the big stuff. And, you know, this event was amazing. Well, that's because of me and part of my help.
Not that he has a big head about it.
No,
No, not at all.
I put it all together. You know, I have people that do this, and I have people that do that, and I put those two people together, and we make great things. You know, so I miss the big picture of big events, and I really am over this coronavirus.
I think a lot of people are.
I'm just over
Most.
it. I'm done with it.
Yeah, and you know, it's those big events that most people miss. I mean, you know, I miss, you know, joining you guys somewhere for a beer.
Do you not
and
miss
things like
going
that,
to a
but-
concert? You know,
Correct. That's the big thing.
Yeah,
like,
the
I
big
mean,
thing.
like those big concerts. You know, the big. I mean, we just went
Big
through almost all of
crowds.
summer. We
And we
missed all
all
of our
are-
beer festivals and like.
we go
It's
see Garth
crazy.
Brooks, and we are all just here for Garth Brooks, and we are having fun.
Yep.
You know, I miss the camaraderie of the giant crowd.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, I did have seen. I know a couple of different bands have done it, but to try to help with things. I mean, one of the ones I really liked was, I think it was Flogging Molly. Over St. Patty's Day, they did like a huge concert, like a virtual concert that was just amazing. It kind of made me feel a little bit better, like right when that was going on, but that was still at the beginning of it.
So I'm glad you brought that up because concerts are about to become a new concept. So let's look at a 18-story apartment building or condo high-rise. There's a lot of balconies on one side of that high-rise. And if you could put a stage at the bottom of that high-rise and have a concert there, now you have multiple seating and multiple beds and multiple hotel rooms for a concert venue. And I went, that's cool. That's smart. You have 10 rooms across, and you have 18 stories. So you've got 180 rooms. Yeah, that's cool. And you're not in your car. You're in your room. You're just sitting on the balcony.
And you're in the elements. I mean,
you're 6 feet away.
I know, but like the concert itself is going to be in the elements. It's got to be portable. There are other things associated.
You have to shoot the concert up. So like normally the concert goes out, out to the crowd. Right. You're going to have to shoot the concert up. So the line array speakers that they normally use are going to be in a different direction.
Yeah, for sure.
But what a cool concept.
It is a really cool concept. I mean,
and now the concert's over. Cool. The bed's right over there. I'm just gonna go to bed.
You need to find an apartment complex that has 2 buildings with a courtyard in the middle, and that's where
in China, in these small complex communities, that could happen. That absolutely could happen.
Hey, Grant, thanks for joining.
You got 5 buildings facing one area, and you go to the middle of the area and you point the speakers in the right direction. You can do it. That's why line arrays have angle stuff on them. There's ways of angling line array speakers.
Yeah, that'd be very cool to see. I mean, I know a lot of things have done kind of like specialty hotels, and not just because of what's going on now, but they started doing beer hotels and dog hotels, and like where everything's catering your puppy. And
there's a lot of new things that we've gotten out of this.
New stuff that's gonna take off, and it's gonna be different. That's for sure.
Hey, we've gotten this out of it. You are on the show now, and you joined the show within minutes of us texting you, and you're here now, and you sound great, and the audio and the video is all great. Everybody can see all of that, and it's perfect. It's awesome. The online community has been very good to, if you have a good, well streaming service, has been good to, getting communication across to other people.
For sure. One of the interesting things with, I know a lot of people harp on homeowners associations, but like ours, during COVID, brought in food trucks every Wednesday. And they had them down at the park, and you could go and do your thing. Now you had to be, that was one of those things like, how comfortable are you going to a food truck? But it was it was a nice gesture. I think they did relatively well. We went several times, and they always had like a rotating, like it wasn't the same one every single week. But every Wednesday they would have a new one down at the park. You could just walk down there from 5 to 7 and get your food, take it home, and it was a pretty slick little deal. I was very impressed with the homeowners association.
I'm going to see if I can get Grant on this. Grant, I just sent you a message if you want to.
Yeah, that sounds awesome though, Brian. Like when it comes to, especially if they started that, depending on when they started. I mean, people were
like March. It was early on. It was like
okay, yeah,
March or April. I mean, it was really early on.
That's awesome because there's a lot of at that time a lot of restaurants weren't doing to-goes yet. There wasn't a lot of things like that. So if they were doing,
but if you had a food truck,
that's awesome.
Drive up in there, you got it.
That's right. Exactly. Yeah.
Did we ever get what you were drinking on, Sean?
Yeah. The everything Cosmic Eye. Everything has.
Oh yeah. You're drinking beer. That's right. That's right.
I went back to the Cabernet Sauvignon. It's a Cabernet cask, cut spike.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I still have Grant's. This is saved in my phone. Grant's Brian's friend.
Oh, there it is.
Let's see.
The Cabernet. There it is.
All right,
Huh.
I'll go to the
try that.
shelf and go grab one more. Sean, you need to get over here, man. I got a lot of booze.
Well, and Sean missed
I
a lot
do.
of this, but here's one other one. I don't know if you know this one.
Is that?
It's a Nika.
Oh, Nika with coffee grain.
No,
Yeah.
I want the coffee green.
Oh,
I
okay.
don't have that one though.
The Nika coffee grain is amazing.
That is it really is. It truly is.
It's one of the best things about working for Blue.
I
So
know.
good.
Yep.
So
Exactly.
I have this bottle of whiskey that is unopened.
That's a cool bottle.
I know
Yeah.
it's like it looks like it's dark halfway through, but it's just the way the bottle is built. It's
So angular.
it's very
Yeah.
angular upward and downward. This is called Virginia Black. It's it says a decadent American whiskey, and it like this is straight out of the 80s. If you saw this bottle, this is like let me get up in this.
I like that bottle with the.
I know it's
It's
so
like
nice.
or almost like diamonds.
It's so 80s. It's so 80s.
It's still pretty pimp.
It's pimpin' is pimpin'.
What are
This
the
one?
5 fingers say to the face?
slap. This is it says from Virginia Black. So Virginia, not from Virginia, from West Hollywood. Boo. Why would you call this Virginia Black? And then it says not from Virginia, West Hollywood, California. But like you would, you would think you would tip this and like the color would go one way. No, it's just the color of the bottle. They used a darker, thicker glass on the bottom of this, and then a lighter. Yeah, but it's beautiful though, isn't it? It's gorgeous. I love the gold label. The gold. Living
Yeah, the
on
gold says
living on
80s
Gold
for
Street. That's gold, man. So that's what I'm doing up next. Gold fig. Oh, that's a keeper.
Gold member. Oh my
Save me
God.
from myself. Well done on the reference there, Sean.
Oh, he eats all of his flakes.
Oh man,
Yeah.
this
oh,
is like an
Nice.
orange color that I just poured out of here. Very orangey in color, not brown, not dark, not light, but very orangey in color.
I agree. Mike said it looks like a Great Gatsby bottle. I agree. I would completely agree with that.
Well,
That's a very good assessment. of
I
that.
may have or may have not got it from there.
Huh.
There's a lot of booze in my house, and I may have not got it from there. Any open bottle may have
But
ended up at my house.
We're not going to talk about that right
No,
now.
exactly.
We're going to moving on. From that.
Moving on.
Yeah.
That's a place that is in New York that I got it from.
Sure.
Sure.
We'll go with that.
You guys are drinking whiskey. I'm so jealous.
Well, I mean, come on. You have.
Oh,
Culture of
man,
Craft
this is so
podcast,
good.
So you're doing
This
craft
is
beer. You
solid.
gotta drink beer, right?
It's true, but I think I might have whiskey. Give me a minute.
All right.
Fair enough. And then Grant just texted me back. He says, I so want to, but I have an early morning. So I'm going to watch for 5 to 10. All right.
Fine.
Come on. Come on. You can join on your phone and still do the same things that we're doing.
Yeah.
Just
Pop in,
you don't
pop in
look
for 10 minutes.
you don't look as professional as we do with our microphones.
Just put a polo on and you're fine.
A
You don't
polo.
need to see your pants.
I am not wearing any underpants. Actually, I am. Because if I go to the bathroom, you don't want to see that.
Gross.
You don't want to see that. This is so good, Brian. Nice job. Bravo.
What you got there, Sean?
Yeah. What
What do you
are
got
you
there,
what are you
Sean?
what are you bringing? What do you bring? What's the heat you bringing?
Don't be jealous, guys. This is from a.
It's
I
almost
can't even
gone.
make anything.
It's
Oh,
almost gone.
bullet.
Oh, the bullet.
Right.
The bullets.
I was gonna make something else like by Francis Boulet, and then, and you guys were just gonna make fun of.
Boulet. That's
Yeah.
awesome. It's pronounced Boulet.
Yeah.
Is that the
No.
is that the green label? Is that the rye?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Nice.
I love Rise.
Me too.
Hey.
I have. Oh,
Hey, Sean. Hey, Sean, I'll give you a refill if you need to.
Oh,
Have you seen this
Just
one?
saying. Just saying.
Speaking of rye, Sean, I don't know if you've seen this.
I have not.
100% rye. Whistle Pig.
Mm.
100% rye. Yeah, it's delicious.
Oh, yeah, it's probably better than. I mean, Bullet's not bad for like
Oh, no,
cocktails
I tell you, it's a good staple. I'm
It is.
more of a Michter's fan, but Bullet is pretty strong too.
Hey, I think you guys were telling me about this before. What is that new? The new like liquor mall it used to be in, like Toys R Us or whatever.
Wine, beer, and spirits.
Wine, beer, and spirits. Have you guys been there?
Oh, multiple
Yeah.
times.
Do they have a good selection?
They do. They do indeed.
I would assume they would. I mean, it seems like
Brian
it's
lives out in that area,
huge.
and I haven't, but I hear.
Yes, and it's not fancy. It's warehouse kind of feel. But they have a 30-foot bar when you walk in, and you can order a drink and you can just walk around. I would say their wine selection is really good. Their spirit selection is above average, and their beer selection is you can't find stuff like they've got.
Nice. No, I'll have to definitely check that out here pretty soon because it's out this direction out west by us.
Yeah, that's over by Oakview Mall.
West Side.
Yeah, yeah.
No.
That's
I'm
like,
living by West Side.
I live in the real west side now.
Yeah, you do. So yeah, I'll you and I should go there sometime. We'll wear masks and we'll socially distance.
Yeah.
Most
I see you over there. Hello.
Oh, it's so funny with the like. I mean, I wear a mask every day for work, but I went to the restaurant, one of my I guess like sister brother companies restaurants. We went to the local beer patio and kitchen for lunch one day,
As
and
you
I didn't-
would, because
and I
it's a
didn't
great
have,
facility.
have my mask on.
Which
and,
one?
like,
Which location did you go to?
The what is it? The west one, whatever the mall's called.
Oh, you're talking way out Village Point.
West Village, yeah, not Village Point.
Are you talking downtown?
Whatever it's
100,
what's the mall
140,
called?
44th,
144th and Center, is it?
roughly. It's just
Yeah,
the other
think
side
what
of
the-
that. Yeah,
what
south
the
side.
shopping center is called, but
Yeah.
right there, right by where Brian gets his haircut at Scissors and Scotch there and everything.
Okay, yeah.
So, but I went in there.
That's a
without
little
my mask
further
on.
away from that location. Do they have one in that one?
Yeah, they do.
So what I'm thinking is 132nd Street turns into Millard Ave.
Somebody knows.
You're not thinking Millard Ave, are you?
No, I
They
should know what
they
this
have
mall's called.
no, they have one in gosh, what is the name of that?
I know that's what I'm.
168th and Center, essentially.
Shops a Legacy. There we go.
Legacy. There
That's
we
what
go.
I'm trying
Boom.
to remember.
Man.
But
I didn't
so
realize
went
they
there.
had one out there too.
Yeah, they have a Scissors and Scotch there, and we also do have a Black Beer and Table, and it's all that kind of stuff right out there. So,
Gotcha. You were Black Beer and Table, Scissors
Yep.
Scotch area.
yep.
Legacy.
It was fun though. But funny thing is that without having a mask on, like people didn't realize who I was, and it was funny. I found it humorous that, just because I always have a mask on when I'm at work, as soon as I take it off, they're like, "Oh,
You're a different person."
You can't even tell.
Right.
That's funny.
No, I get it. I totally get it. We dove into the mask situation before you got on the show, and it was kind of it's a touchy subject. I mean, I want to wear a mask when they want me to. Absolutely. In fact, we went over the fact that I put a post out there that these N95 masks actually on the side of the mask box says it's not for COVID-19, which is really saving their ass because they don't want to get sued by anybody. And people took it as I don't wear a mask, and I'm like, no, that's not what I said. What I said was these masks really aren't rated for COVID-19. Do they really work? And people got in this uproar and got in my face, and they're like, you son of a gun, why aren't you wearing these masks? And I'm like,
Is that a direct quote?
you
You son of a gun.
well, I was making it more PC for the for the show, but it was funny. Not funny. It was realistic to see the people that came out of the woodwork to just berate me and say bad things about me because I wasn't wearing a mask. And that's not the conversation I was going for. The conversation I was going for was, why is this on the side of a box? And you continue to wear them and think that it's safe. Not that I'm not going to wear my mask. If it is a mandated thing that I need to go wear a mask, which if I want to go back to work at the largest convention center in town, yes, I have to wear my mask and I'm going to oblige by that rule. Of course I am. I just it was Tuesday night and I was looking for a conversation, and it was fun, and I thanked them for their time and all that stuff. And it was funny to see what came out of the woodwork.
Have you seen the pictures of people that have like the crocheted masks? You're like,
yeah, no, that'll work. That'll work.
That's cute.
You're right.
Not effective at all, but
did you see the high C container? And they chopped the bottom off the high C container, and they just put the high C container on top of their head and wore that.
What?
Yeah, no, that'll work. That'll work. Well, you can see through
my
it.
moon mask.
It's like a face shield,
maybe.
right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's kind of a face shield.
Yeah, my wife is actually a speech pathologist, and she get for a school district, and she actually is getting the clear ones, which I was like, I don't understand. Like, to me, the second you start talking, that immediately fogs up. So I don't understand how that works. But I watched one of the recent live feeds
Videos
from
yeah.
the video. It was a live feed video from Mayor Stothert, and one of her it was Governor Ricketts, and he one of his sign language interpreters had one of the masks on there that was clear, and I was like, wow, it's staying clear, so it must have enough ventilation to where it stays clear. So it does work.
There was something. It might have been Portland, might have been New York. I can't tell the difference between the two right now, I guess. One of the sign language interpreters had
I don't know geography, whatever.
I'm just saying, the sign language interpreter had a face mask on, and it was like a like, if I were to make that face, that was the face of the face mask that she was wearing. And it was hilarious to just watch her sign everything with this
oh, it was like a stationary
laugh face mask. It was you every time
Very
you looked over at
humorous.
her and she was just signing her life away, you're just like, oh, she's so happy. Oh no, that's just her face mask. Got it.
So funny.
Did you see? So there was a guy. He's a special effects makeup artist, and he actually made a mask out of silicone. And it's basically, if you like took like one of those old like mustard gas filters and stuck
The
it
two
in your
ports,
mouth.
the two
No,
one port.
just the one.
The one port.
Stuck it in your mouth, right? And that looked like you're sucking on a mustard gas canister.
Yeah.
That was his mask. And I was like, and it looked like he put it on, and like you could kind of see the line from the mask, but like it was color coded to like his skin tone. I'm like,
Nice.
That was well done. Well done.
I
was just going to
looking at
ask
the
you what's
news.
more important right now.
I was like, sorry. Just
You're fine, Sean.
Yes.
What's more important right now?
It's time
You-
to stand.
you guys
Your
are,
watch
you
is-
guys are.
Your
Hang
watch
on,
is telling you to stand.
I'm going to paint my
It
artwork
was.
right now. Hang on, I got to draw real quick.
No, what do you guys think about
Tic-tac-toe.
Lincoln obviously had a mask ordinance. It sounds like Omaha
It
might
does.
be getting one next week.
Yes.
that you're
so
talking about potentially.
originally, Jean Stothert came out and said that she wasn't going to do it just because of the trying to not regulate, uphold that regulation. If you're going to mandate masks, you need to also have the backbone to enforce it.
Yeah, have the
There's
super
Tremont.
troopers.
Correct.
Have the
Yeah,
super
and
troopers
that's-
come in
she's
and
like,
shoot the
and with
aliens.
Omaha, as large as Omaha is, with Lincoln, what is Lincoln? 250, 275,000?
less
so-
than half of Omaha.
Yeah, way less. So it's a concern of hers, I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying it's wrong, but it is a concern. Like you need, if you're gonna say masks are required, you need to have a way to enforce that. And
Yeah.
if you don't, then you can't. So
Yeah.
I see where she was coming from.
Very much so.
I am starting to comply with the rule. I mean, I shop at Hy-Vee.
Compliance.
I am complying with the rule. Hy-Vee has a thing right as you walk in the front door. It says CDC says that you should wear a mask, and then I walk in there for a pizza and a beer, and and I walk out quickly, and I use self checkout, and I'm fast. Even though self checkout, I'm touching things, and millions of people touch those things. But whatever, I'm not gonna whatever. I'm gonna comply with what Hy-Vee wants me to do, and I'll wear a mask inside. I'll do that for I want things to go better. I do. I want things to be fine. Like I said earlier with Sean, I want large events. I want big events and big things and normalcy to go back to the way they were. And if if wearing a mask is what's gonna make that happen, then let's do it.
And Drew said it comes down to Dr. Audie Poor, which I agree with. If she says, we need to mandate masks, but it's up to Jean Stothert to find a way to enforce that. So
Right.
she's, Jean's stuck in the middle with everything.
Yeah,
Sorry,
that's-
Mayor Stothert
yeah.
is stuck in the middle of that.
It's awfully
I
hard
do.
to-
I will give Stothard a little props for raising the police budget.
In the midst of a defund the police campaign. nationwide.
A lot of people may hate me for saying that, and on this show saying that I don't mind the fact that she's giving the police a little bit more money. I get that, the police and retirement funds and all this stuff. You gotta know that these people put their life on the line to take care of us, and they are in certain situations that you'll never be in. And so I'm all for making sure that the cops are taken care of, because there are scenarios that those people are in that you will never want to be in at all, ever in your entire life. And Brian, you can preach to this as well. Our family business, there are certain situations that you will never want to be in and put yourself in, that they will put themselves in. So
No, I completely agree with they're asking the police to do too much that does not fit within their job description of
I agree.
police.
There should be more of a backing. There should be more of people doing things with them to take care of things. Certain situations of battered and abuse and child neglect, things that other people should take
Get
care
more of a counselor that
yeah
goes
no
into the
yeah,
situation and
absolutely yeah.
But on the flip side, I mean, it's hard to say you can't have an answer for every situation. And the minute a counselor goes into it, like let's say we shift some of those priorities to counselors or whatever, and we send a
Well, are they
counselor
going to do
into a
their
situation-
job?
Not necessarily that. That's not where I was going with it. More of a what if that situation called for the police, but because of the scenario and what we determine should be the appropriate response, and we send a counselor instead, and then the person there kills the counselor, it's like, then we all look at that and say, oh, we should have sent the police. So it's only going to take like one or two of those.
I'm tired
then-
of people
and I'm
getting
not saying-
offended. I'm
Well,
tired of people getting offended by
But these
things,
are also
you know?
very real scenarios
They
that we need to
are.
look at.
They are very real scenarios. But I'm
Yeah.
tired of people getting offended by certain, like, oh, you shouldn't have done that. Well, we took it to the scenario, and then we had to do this. I'm tired of people getting offended by, like, let's flip it back to Portland and the scenario that they're in. Portland needed the government to step in. There was a problem there, and there
We've
was,
already discussed that one.
there
go
is
back
there is,
around.
but you get what I'm saying. There's a certain scenario that happens that other things need to be involved.
Okay, and we also had a response from Tom. The police department budget being cut doesn't help the police department. The only thing that can help the police department is educating police officers. And to
I'll
me,
totally agree with that as well. I will agree that
I-
they need management training. They need to be, they need to be trained on dealing with certain situations, and not every situation is the same. I will agree with that.
I will agree to a point with that. I will say they need to respond to certain situations delicately, but there is also
Tread the
they're
water.
being asked-
Tread the
They're
water.
being asked to do too much, and they're not trained to do. And you cannot. I mean, to become a police officer,
Don't defund the police to train them well. Don't. do
Yeah,
that.
but I mean, you're talking. What does it take to be a police officer? It is fairly minimal.
You need to take psychological training. You need to take well-being training. You need to take
but then like,
offense
how
and
mu-
defensive training.
But Brett, you're adding to what a police officer should do, and what I'm saying is there are certain scenarios that a police officer shouldn't be sent into. Maybe they should be there as a backup, but like send a counselor, but have a police officer as a like, oh, if the manure hits the ventilator, we'll send the police officer in.
So let's say
why
I'm
can't
gonna
we do
let's
that?
say I'm gonna let's say I'm gonna
Hits the ventilator.
let's say I'm gonna join the police for today. In 4 months, I could be a police officer.
Less than.
In less than. So,
Yeah.
like, how much can you learn in that short amount of time? But after that's the real question. Is
Sorry, there's somebody in the chat was like, I'm offended by people being offended.
right? Yeah,
Thanks,
I'm in the same boat. But like,
Yeah.
you can be a police officer within 3 to 4 months. How
Yes.
much can you learn that you don't know already in that 3 to 4 months? So
And that's what we're
it's,
saying. is like the-
I think
the police officers are
ongoing
being asked to-
ongoing training needs to
but
happen.
and it is. It is already happening, but they're also being asked to do
Mm.
too much.
Yes. Okay. Yes. Okay.
Yeah, they do have
Okay, yes.
continual. Yeah, but once you become a police officer, the training doesn't stop. Like you are continually trained to do things. There's gun training. There's psychological training. There's how to breach. There's so many other facets of being a police officer.
Watch MacGyver. You need to learn how to take apart a bomb.
Yes, with a Swiss Army knife and bubble wrap.
And paper clips.
I got this.
Exactly.
Oh,
I got this.
Two paper clips, but they have to be steel paper clips. You got to be careful. You don't want those colorized.
Is there some
rubber ones.
nitrous around here? Is
No
there some
plastic.
nitrous around here?
Yeah.
Oh wait, we can make nitrous out of this.
MacGyver.
Yeah, we were talking
Uh.
about MacGyver earlier. Me and my son, his name's Guyver. We're now watching the season on Amazon Prime. If you've got it, subscribe to the ABC or CBS series. It's $7.99 a month, and then you get all the MacGyver shows. Yeah, instead of buying them per season, which is $18 per season. No brainer.
Too-
No brainer.
just-
I'm gonna
I-
knock out all 7 seasons within 3 months and only pay, $18 for that.
mhm.
It's worth it.
It is totally worth it.
How's your bullet?
It's pretty good.
It's
bullet.
pretty good.
I mean, we all
It's
talked
a
about the
bullet.
nosing and the notes on it. Can you?
I don't know whiskey at all. I'm like, I like it.
It's
It's
good.
I like
It's
rye.
good.
It's good.
So
but
you've got the green bottle, right? Have you
Yep,
had the
It's
red?
the rye, yeah,
Have you had the
the
red?
rye.
yeah, same thing.
It's not the same thing.
No, I mean I have the same one as that. What you have on the table there, the rye. Okay, Britt, ignore
he's,
me.
He's grabbing
I
some other ones. Fine, leave. I see what you're.
Fine. I see how it is.
I don't care.
Yeah, no,
That's the-
I
Sean,
no, go ahead.
I got the red
Yeah.
too.
Oh, I only have
I
the
got
rye.
green and I got the red. There's 2.
Oh,
But do you have the purple?
what's the purple?
I
They
know
don't
what's
have a
purple.
purple.
Oh, I was gonna
Purple's
say,
not-
I'm like,
Right,
don't
fluffing
know.
you right now.
I like rye whiskeys, and that
Me too.
I'm a big rye fan. Just, I mean, I think when we had one of the podcasts before, I brought in and we did. I think I brought
We'll get
bullets,
together.
rye, and we did Manhattans and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, that was
Always
a
a classic cocktail fan. So
yeah, you know what? So I just recently got back into Manhattans. I have a friend of mine he's done that for a long time as Manhattans, and
oh yeah.
for me, it's one of those drinks that I had like 10 years ago, and I was like, oh, not a fan. And so that's what I think of now.
Now I'm tasting
But now my
what you're
palate has
tasting.
changed, and like I'm a huge fan of whiskey. I'm a huge fan of bitters. I'm a huge fan of vermouth. Like, and even now, like I will go to bars and I will order vermouth. Like if I see that they have good vermouth on the shelf and it's not got dust on it, I'll order a vermouth. Put a vermouth, a couple of rocks on there, and I'll just drink straight vermouth. And so I order my, and this is literally in the last like 3 or 4 weeks. I'm like, you know what? I know what a Manhattan's made of, and to me, it has negative connotations because the first time I had it, I was like 10 or 12 years ago, it was not good. But my palate has changed a lot, and I said I'm going to go ahead and do a Manhattan. And I drank it, and I'm like, why have I not been doing these? This is amazing. These are so awesome.
I mean, everyone seems, not everyone, but it seems to be one of two. You either like Manhattans or you like old fashions. And I think you're typically
Why not
an old fashioned.
I am
Kinda
that's,
guy.
that's well, to me, that's my bar. Like if I don't know the level of, like, I go into a bar I've never been to before, I'll order an old fashioned, and then what I get from that, that's what I determine what I order next.
Yep. See that I do the same thing, but with Manhattans. Like same thing. Like
gotcha.
it's my bar. Like I'm like I know what I like, and I know what it should taste like, and what depending on how they do it, what their skill level. Because I mean, you can go and like you said, you can go and have some pretty horrible Manhattans, just like old fashions. You can go somewhere and you see them, doing it right there with not even muddling or anything like that, and you're just like, oh great, what am I getting myself into?
This will be interesting.
Oh yeah. Check out this glassware, by the way.
And still, and I think I've told you my story about those are interesting glasses.
Well, it was just from we were talking about 80s, like
Oh yeah. The green.
Oh,
is that glass or is that plastic?
glass.
Yeah, that is very 80s right there.
It's pretty sick.
So I think I've told you about nice, Brett. You going fishing?
What? This is
So
my new summer hat, guys. I am all for this hat for summer.
You are in the man in the yellow hat.
I could either be picking
Where's
rice
George?
or
Exactly.
mowing a
Curious
lawn,
George.
one of the two.
So we
Love
were
it.
talking about going to a bar and what your bar for the bar is like.
Ooh,
in
bar
ordering.
for the bar. I like it.
So
It's good conversation right there.
I love the story of going to Spirit World and Alzeri, who's been
Kid
on the
man.
podcast before.
Kid man.
He's probably forgotten more about alcohol than I will ever know.
No,
but,
he has not forgotten anything about any of that alcohol.
Oh,
he's
yeah,
drinking.
no. He's the world
a
almanac
plethora-
of-
He is an
yeah.
encyclopedia of
Yeah.
knowledge of alcohol.
Yeah. So he's like, well, what do you have? And I'm like, Alzeri, my bar, like old fashioned. That is my, I know that you are amazing, but like old fashioned is my thing. But so I want your take on an old fashioned. He's like, I got you. And like, he hands me this glass, which just the glass alone was amazing.
Fancy.
It was this
Fancy
it was
lass.
very bulbous on the bottom, but it wouldn't sit flat. It
Bulbous.
sat at a tilt. It was super, super cool. And it was straight liquid in there. And I'm looking at the thing like, okay. And he's like, you're used to things and stuff in your old fashioned? I'm like, yeah, I'm used to things and stuff in my old fashioned.
Things and stuff.
Yeah. And he's like, yeah, this is all booze. And tell me what you think. And I'm like, I took the first sip and I'm like, like everything was in there. Like, you had the lemon zest, you had the whiskey, you had the bitters, you had the sweetness, you had the fruit. I mean, it was all in there, but it was all liquid. And I'm like,
Okay.
hands down.
All right.
That is
That's
amazing.
good.
That was amazing. Well
Good.
done. Well done.
That's awesome. What, Britt, what's your go-to, or what's your bar?
Right now, my bar is off the chain. Like, if you came to my house, you go, Britt, you got more booze in this house than you know what to do, and I could drink a bottle of booze a day,
just-
and
no,
it'd last me.
Like you go to a bar that you've never been to.
Gotcha.
What do you order?
Okay, all right.
What is your bar? My bar is off the chain.
It's Brian. So you all right? You've been to the house. You know how we had
Yep.
double shelves behind the bar, and they had cans on them, and they had empty bottles on them, right?
Mhm.
2 stories of them.
Yeah, we've been through
They're-
this.
they're all-
when you go to a
They're all filled up right now.
when you go to a bar, Britt.
I'm just
What do you order?
establishing like
To
I could bring out
the baseline
19 more whiskeys, and you go, fuck, he's got so many whiskeys.
Never mind.
Anyway, no. So my go-to when I go to a bar, actually, right now during the summertime, I will do a Moscow Mule. That's kind of my go-to right now is Moscow Mules. How well can you do a Moscow Mule? And right now, the only place in Omaha that I have actually had a decent Moscow Mule is Inkwell. They make their own ginger beer, and it's spicy. And I like a little
add
bit of
jalapeno to
a
it.
spicy. Yeah, they add jalapeno to their ginger beer, and the ginger they add just a bit more ginger as well. And right now you can do it to go, and it's $25 for 5 glasses of ginger beer, Moscow Mule, which is decent. It's $5 a glass, like you would normally pay at the bar. But wow, nice job, Inkwell. That you have hit the nail on the coffin for doing that drink. So yeah, that's my drink, Moscow Mules.
I've heard you guys talking about Inkwell before. I think you guys had a podcast with them, didn't you? Before, where are they located?
So you know where
Countryside Village.
small town in the city, across from West Side. So in
High
the
school.
in the middle is
87th and Pacific.
Yep, I gotcha.
in the middle of that is why am I drawing a blank on the beer place?
Go pint.
Casual Pint. Thank you.
Dude,
You've
really?
been yeah, I know, right?
How you feeling? You doing all right?
I'm
You gonna
three
be able to
I'm
make it
3
upstairs?
sheets to the wind. I'll walk upstairs. We'll be fine. Casual Pint is in the
It
middle.
says it on your beer sign, by the way, just in case you forget it again.
Well, you can see that. You can see that, but the general public doesn't see that.
Oh, my bad.
You've got a different view than the general public has.
Heard.
The general public's cut off right after the screen. Anyway, Casual Pint in the middle of Countryside Village is Casual Pint and a Cedar, but on the front side of that actually faces West Side is Inkwell, and they are amazing. They're awesome.
I do miss some of these places, Casual Pint and things like that, just from being gone, but 2 not being there. That and like Mr. Toad's. I mean, that's not anything fancy, but Mr. Toad's in downtown
fun.
Omaha
It's
was
just fun to
my
go.
go-to place, and
Yeah, sure.
I miss it there so badly. Like it's crazy. You never realize how much you miss a bar, I guess, that, and how much it was like Cheers. Like I'd walk in and knew half of the people who were there.
You
Yeah,
know, if you want to do, if you want to go across the board of any restaurant here in town or bar in town or any place that you can get booze, Moscow Mule, I guess, would not be my number one. My number one would be a Pinot Noir.
A sweet red wine.
No, it's the Pinot Noirs aren't sweet. They are on the lighter side of the cabs. They are on the lighter side of cabs, but a Pinot Noir would probably be my number one choice if I went into a place that had decent wine. Would be my number one choice of what I would go towards.
So you guys are fancy. For
I'm a
me,
little fancy. I mean, my
when
dad,
there's wine, I'm like,
my dad brought
do you
me
have
up a
white
little bit.
or red? Like,
What's the color of your wine?
Yeah.
today?
yep. I want the red one.
Yeah.
No.
Britt, I gotta say,
If they
we
have
had
a
mo-
if they have a very fancy wine menu, then I would stray towards a wine rather than a cocktail.
Nice.
So, Sean, I don't know if you're watching the live feed. I'm watching the live feed, and the angle that I have from it, Britt, we had a Mortal Kombat reference, and the hat that you're wearing.
Raiden.
Yep.
I could already tell.
All right. I'm out. Hadouken!
No, that is not. Oh, dude, that was Street Fighter.
Oh, that was Street Fighter. You're right.
Yeah. Two.
Oh, man.
Street Fighter 2.
Street Fighter. Come here.
That was
Get over here.
Mortal Kombat. Yeah.
There we
Get
go.
Over here.
Get over here.
Finished him.
That's my lawn mowing hat, and I had just been wearing the beer hat for a while, and I was like, I was coming down the staircase after grabbing soda upstairs, and I'm like, yeah, I should throw that on. I didn't, and when you said that, I looked at my my monitor, and I'm like, oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I told you I was like, either I was picking rice or I was mowing lawns. And not to be a judgment person, but yeah.
Did you, by the way, did you change the angle of your podcasting room there?
So
Yeah, no.
yeah.
So since
feed.
it's just me, I brought the camera in. It's sitting on the table where someone would normally sit. So,
okay,
like, if
yeah,
it was
yeah.
you and Brian on that side, I'm sitting. I'm putting it in the area someone else would sit. So you're at a different angle, just to bring it in tighter and have the monitor more blown out.
Nice.
Yeah.
That works well.
And then the camera that you're viewing is a wide angle 1080p camera that no one else sees but you, so that you feel like you're here with us. You know what I mean? So there's technically two cameras going on, because I can't Y-feed or send this camera angle two different ways. It's going to the internet.
So who's been changing it when it goes to like just one person talking and zooms in?
What do you mean?
Like, it's been going sometimes where like I don't see your feed, and then
So-
suddenly
You're on
I
the-
just see.
so
it,
in-
like
You're on the
now.
You're on the Zoom.
You're on the
feed.
Zoom feed.
And
And in the top corner on the right hand side, there is a multi-view. You can click on that, and you
Yeah,
will see
and you
all
can
of
see
us.
everybody. Yeah.
Top
So
right hand corner.
It's you're on presenter view right now, and if you move to,
You're like, wow, Britt, you're doing an amazing job on switching camera
I
angles.
sure was. I was like, this is amazing.
No. It's Zoom doing its thing.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Fair.
Yeah.
Mitchell, holy cow, how you doing, buddy?
Yeah.
Welcome to the podcast.
I just saw
Man.
Mitchell a couple weeks ago at Point 9.
We need to
Oh,
get
yeah?
him on the.
It was a good time.
It's been a while.
It's been too long, and we need to
I
have
want
a
to know how
podcast.
married life is doing and all that stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
He-
If he's
he's-
had any accidents in the back room.
or accidents in the bedroom, and he's gonna
Well,
have.
geez, Britt, you went
What?
there. I was
I'm
going
just
to work,
saying. I don't
Jesus.
know. That was so good. The accident in the back room
Mhm.
on video, that was so good. And I just the hands at the hips, it was so
Like,
good.
oh.
He's just like,
He's like,
well, that's that is what it is. It's gonna happen.
Mm-hmm.
It's been too long, Mitchell. You need to get on the show.
Oh, Mitchell.
Mm-hmm.
But now you're in a,
we are drinking on whiskey, Mitchell. If you want to join in and tell us what you're drinking on the whiskey.
I know, right? I could send this little table around and
Ice break.
icebreaker.
You're good. Make a phone call. You're good.
Yeah.
All the things.
This podcast went from just Brian and I to now Brian and I and Sean, and Mitchell, if you want to join in, we'll text you the code to come into this conversation. If you want to join the Zoom meeting, just let us know.
Yeah.
You have Brian's phone number. You've got my phone number. Just let us know. You're more than welcome to join in on the feed, even if it's just from your cell phone. So, just
You
put
sticking with whiskey there, Sean?
Once I start it,
You gotta keep it going. You gotta keep it
Exactly.
going.
there's only this much bottle left. So
That's like 2 drinks, maybe.
I know.
You're
it is.
As I put that one up there and I put that one up there. Gosh. So
Have to one up me. I get it.
before this show started,
Two up.
we have a turntable in the middle of the table. Brian bought this. It says whiskey on it. This turntable is actually filled up with vodka, which my wife is a big favor of the vodka, and so all of my whiskeys are actually behind my bar now. But I will slowly bring them out one by one.
I don't see any vodka on there.
There's none. I wiped it clean.
You said it was okay.
I took the vodka off and I put the whiskey
gotcha. All right.
on.
What's the giant decanter that you got there?
This thing? Giant decanter.
On the turntable.
Which one? This one? This one?
Nope. Yep.
This is not a decanter, Brian. This was the rum from Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico. That is not a decanter. It's just a very
the bottle. That's the
very-
actual bottle.
yeah, Brian. I had
Holy crap.
very expensive stuff here. Just saying, if you were paying attention at the beginning of the program,
Well, no, I didn't.
it's looked
I'm
like a
drinking Bullet Rye.
it looks like a diamond, right? Don't it?
It looks amazing.
Boom, boom. Yeah, no, it was amazing. Like I said, between the two rums, this was the better rum that has a giant diamond on the top of it. In fact, I wonder if you could. No, I was gonna say Jose Cuervo, or not Jose Cuervo, Patron. You could flip it over and fill up the thing. This looks like something that you could fill up, but I don't think you can.
I don't know if you guys have ever tried it, but I know I think you did try it. Do you remember Chaz's rum from Chaz from what is it called now?
I'm sorry, but that was
This-
the name of a city in Portland for a while. 8, 9, 10. You're out.
Oh, I'm totally blanking, guys. We did the podcast, or you guys did the podcast in the basement. It's the cigar bar, Havana Garage.
Havana Garage.
Yeah, with
They have
Chaz.
their,
Chaz is great.
They have their own rum. I think we tried it
Yeah,
on that
we
show.
did.
That was pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Pleasantly surprised.
they also had a.
I
dang
would
it, what
love
is
to
the
do.
whiskey that they
I'd
have?
love
They
to
also-
do a show from Chaz's Bar, off of not Benson Drive, off of Maple Street. He's got that cheap bar.
Oh,
Rathskeller?
no, Rathskeller's the German.
I would
one.
love to do it from
the
there, too.
Nifty.
The Nifty,
Nifty.
the
Yeah,
Nifty,
the neighborhood
Nifty
bar.
is
50 Nifty.
sweet.
Yeah. I would love to do it from there. Rathskeller, I'd love to do it from there because they've got a great back patio.
It's pretty loud in there. We'd have to find a.
On a
either
Tuesday,
Yeah, it's
Say
a
la-
cool place though,
c'est la vie on a Tuesday.
for sure.
They do have like a little upstairs area that I don't know if it's just an office still or if they're going to. I know they were talking about using it for like smaller events and stuff like that upstairs.
And
Might be
Drew,
a
we were
spot for
talking
you
about
guys.
Chaz, the person that owns Rathskeller and
Not
Havana
the
Garage.
not the Portland place.
not Portland place. Yes, it's literally a person.
It's now
named
Chop.
Chaz.
It's not Chaz
Yes.
anymore.
Yes, just get with the times.
I need to be watching this feed.
Should we kind of wrap it up and then do you two want to continue on?
Yeah, well,
A little
I'm
after talk afterwards.
I'm
Are you
hanging
good,
out,
John?
man.
Yeah, I'm done. I'm down.
Okay.
Alright.
I think we've definitely run the gamut.
We
on things.
have definitely gone where no man should have gone before. That's a
Into
good
the
saying.
unknown.
Into the unknown. No. I, you know what? This show is all about solving the world's problems one drink at a time. So I'm glad that we were able to comfortably touch on subjects that
and we all remain friends.
and remain
How
friends.
about
You know, like
We'll see.
that? Yeah, we still have the after talk to do.
I mean, we talked about COVID. We talked about going back to school. We talked about masks. We talked about a lot of awesome things today. So take it lightly, Heartland. This is just a show, and we want to get along with everyone. We don't want to exclude anyone, and we don't want to make people feel like they're outsiders. We want to make sure that you're welcome to the show, and we're just we're drinking really, and we're having a good time. So we want you to drink with us and have a good time with us.
To that end, I will say we're going to end the podcast now, but those of you that are, because we still have a few people watching right now.
Perfect.
And if you want to continue on and you want to be part of our Zoom meeting, which is the after talk, put that in the comments because I will still monitor that, and we will send you the link.
We'll send you the link on the comments, and you could join on to the Zoom meeting of the comments on a Saturday night.
Yeah.
and drink talk it up,
Oh.
which is a new thing we can do, right?
Yeah.
I think that's awesome. We
It's
should be
kinda
doing this
fun, actually.
every Saturday night.
That's fair. That's a fair. Yeah.
I've missed you guys.
Yeah.
Aw.
Why don't
Thanks,
Why don't we
Sean.
we can text it out there and just give it to everybody and just see who decides to click a button and say I want to join your meeting. Why
Just can you put the meeting ID out there, and then just if you want the password, then we'll get with you.
not? Okay, sure,
We'll do that.
fair enough. Ba ba ba. This is the end of the show.
Yes.
I don't have any theme music for this.
It's added in post production.
It is.
I love it.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us for a awesome episode of a Drink Talk show that we haven't done for a while. We
month
do-
and a day.
we did it a month and a day ago, but the month and a day episode was Dad was there, Erica was there, Eric was there. It was
fun. It was the reconnect.
It was funny because the reconnect was actually had to be reconnected because of the
Multiple
internet
times.
space that was going on. Nobody had a good connection, so I had to re-upload it that morning to the card that was on the camera. Anyway, Reconnect was the solidest name that we could have named the show.
I like it.
Reconnect.
Reconnect with the reconnect. Oh, it's buffering. I get it.
All right.
All right. Anyway, Brian, I ran this at 1080p. That worked out
Nice.
well. Everything
Well, you
seemed
had the
fine.
Wi-Fi instead of just running out of your phone.
And I'm not only downloading, I'm uploading. I'm downloading you guys, and I'm uploading the show. So my internet, my
I have like the old George Carlin. They download to the
my gig speed is doing all
George
right.
Carlin.
Oh, dude.
I love George Carlin.
Exactly. Anyway, thank you
We're
for
gonna end
joining
it.
us. I'm Britt.
I'm Brian.
Sean.
Come on.
There you go.
Sorry, I
And good.